I have 101 beautiful wives. 10 years ago, Yang Ning traveled to a parallel city and was bound to a troublesome system. He was forced to marry 10 beautiful 18-year-old women, who did not know each other, and teach them a special skill. 10 years later, after completing his mission, Yang Ning was ready to descend the mountain and search for his beautiful wives. However, to his surprise, they had already reached the top of the world and become the most powerful and influential women. Chapter 1, Wives, Hubby is coming down the mountain. In Haisha, there is a dream mountain. Legend has it that on Dream Mountain, there is a fairy palace, and if you can sleep in the palace for one night and have a beautiful dream, your dreams will come true. Many people half believe this legend, which has turned Dream Mountain into one of the city's top tourist attractions. However, for those who have reached the summit, it's just a legend. The view at the top is breathtaking, with splendid clouds rising, beautiful as a fairyland, but there is no fairy palace to be found. Foolish. Foolish. At the peak of Dream Mountain, inside a crystal-clear palace built from what seemed to be white jade, Yang Ning stood at the palace door, looking down at the crowd below. These were all tourists who had climbed the mountain in search of the fairy palace. Unfortunately, the palace was hidden in a secret space, invisible to ordinary people. Only those bound by their Pinduoduo system could see and enter it, enjoy a peaceful night's sleep, and have their dreams come true. Yang Ning was fortunate enough to be bound to their Pinduoduo system. He was lucky, too, his dream had come true. But the downside? He'd been stuck here for 10 years. Yang Ning still remembered when he was first bound to their Pinduoduo system and moved into the palace. On the very first night, he had a spring dream in which he married 10 beautiful 18-year-old women, none of whom knew each other. They even held a wedding ceremony, drank bridal wine, and consummated the marriage. Most importantly, that night, Yang Ning reached the peak of his life, spending a passionate night with 10 beautiful wives. The next day, when he woke up and saw the 10 beautiful wives lying beside him, he realized that his spring dream had come true. He really had 10 stunning wives, all 18, youthful, beautiful, with perfect bodies and faces beyond compare. From that day forward, with the help of their Pinduoduo system, Yang Ning taught each of them a unique skill. About 10 days later, the 10 beautiful wives descended the mountain one by one, leaving Yang Ning alone in the fairy palace. He had stayed there for 10 whole years. Ding! Congratulations, host. The 10-year agreement period has ended. The cage has been removed, and you may now descend the mountain. A cold voice echoed in Yang Ning's mind. 10 years. The cage has been removed, and I can finally leave. Yang Ning sighed deeply. 10 years had passed, and he wondered how his wives were doing now. 10 years ago, he had married 10 stunning 18-year-old beauties and lived in bliss. However, he had also paid a heavy price. He had to teach each of them a unique skill and remain isolated on the mountain for 10 years. Such an ordeal wasn't something everyone could endure. 10 gorgeous wives these 10 years have been incredibly lonely. I wonder if they've cheated on me, if they've given me a green hat. Yang Ning thought to himself. But he reassured himself that since they were selected by their Pinduoduo system, they shouldn't have changed their hearts. What is Pinduoduo? As the name suggests, it's about gathering as many wives as possible. More is better. Luckily, they left me their contact information 10 years ago. No matter what happened, the contact information wouldn't change. Yang Ning took a deep breath. Finally, he could leave the mountain and dominate the city. Ding! Host, a task has been issued by the Pinduoduo system. The cold voice sounded again in his mind. What task? Yang Ning was taken aback. Collect more wives, teach them more unique skills, and help your wives dominate the entire city, even the world. Let them rise to the top in every field, in every industry, the cold voice responded. Let my wives dominate the city and the world. Yang Ning widened his eyes. You mean, there's nothing for me to do? Their host can assist them, helping your women become powerful figures, the cold voice explained. You want me to be a kept man? Yang Ning chuckled bitterly. Your wives will dominate the city and the world. You can be the one and only ball president of the earth. Isn't that good? The cold voice retorted. Well, I can live with that. Yang Ning's eyes lit up. Ding! Host, please leave the palace within 10 seconds. The fairy palace will disappear, and you will become the system's only chosen one. The cold voice sounded again. Wives, your husband is coming down the mountain. Yang Ning grinned and stepped out of the palace. Huh? The cage really disappeared. The moment he stepped out of the palace, Yang Ning felt both excited and thrilled. After being trapped on the mountain for 10 years, he was finally free. Beautiful women at the foot of the mountain, here I come. Let us set a small goal first, gather 101 wives. Yang Ning chuckled as he began walking down the mountain. Half an hour later. At the foot of Dream Mountain, Yang Ning took out his phone, searched for the contact information of his 10 wives, and sent a text to each of them. Wife, more. Hubby is down the mountain. Did you miss me over these 10 years? Yang Ning shamelessly sent the cheesy text. Done. Yang Ning walked contentedly toward the nearby bus stop. Chapter 2, Their Wives' Reactions. Hsinchu, the capital city. Shuya Group headquarters. Top floor of a 66-story skyscraper. This is the office of the chairwoman of Shuya Group, considered the most luxurious office in the entire capital. Shuya Group, founded just 10 years ago, has rapidly risen to become the leading cosmetics company in Hsinchu, gradually building a commercial empire in the Hsinchu cosmetics market. Behind all of this stands a 28-year-old beautiful chairwoman, Fang Shuya, who created the Shuya brand and grew Shuya Group into the most successful and youngest female billionaire in Hsinchu. At this moment, in the chairwoman's office, Fang Shuya sat at her desk, wearing a tight black uniform, with a pair of delicate high heels. Her long, slender legs, toned figure, and perfect curves made her look stunning. Her features were flawless, with porcelain-like skin that could almost be touched, and her makeup, light but elegant, radiated a mature, graceful charm. On her desk, there were several documents and a cup of red tea, still warm. Fang Shuya, a true native of the capital, didn't tea like coffee. She preferred Wui Mountain's Da Hongpao tea, enjoying the subtle fragrance, sweetness, and the rich taste of Fengqing tea. Ding dong tilde tilde. Suddenly, her phone vibrated on the desk, signaling a new text message. Fang Shuya furrowed her brows slightly, raised her delicate hand, and tapped on her phone. Her eyes glanced at the message. Instantly, an ambiguous, slightly flirtatious message appeared before her. Darling, more, hubby is down the mountain. Have you missed me in these 10 years? The simple text made Fang Shuya shiver slightly. She bit her lip, her heart racing with both surprise and joy. She stared at the message, unsure of what to do. 10 years that man had finally sent her a message, finally contacted her. Where are you? Fang Shuya quickly typed a response. I've just come down the mountain. I'm in Haisha now. The reply came almost immediately. Go to the Shuya company in Haisha and wait for me. I'll arrange for someone to pick you up. I'm flying to Haisha now, darling, wait for me. Fang Shuya gritted her teeth and sent a loving message. What is happening to me? Fang Shuya felt her heart racing, her face flushed. For the second time in her life, she felt like a shy, affectionate woman. The first time had been 10 years ago when they married in a ceremony and entered the bridal chamber. In Shanghai. Xinchen Entertainment Company. In the recording studio. At this moment, Yi Qingzhu was fully immersed in recording her new song, a traditional style piece called Half a Pot of Silk. As the most popular actress in Hsinchu, Yi Qingzhu had transitioned from the entertainment industry to singing. This new single was her long-awaited debut song in the music industry. She poured all her emotions into the song, blending the classical elements with her personal experience. If the mountains and waters in my heart you can see in your eyes, I would pray with every step. But who knew that fleeting life would become grass? Time hastens us to grow old. The wind, the moon, the flowers, the birds, all smile as the dust of fate fades away. This was a beautifully poetic and zen-like song. If you've ever pondered your own bumpy life, or tried to explore your past and future lives, you might want to brew a pot of light tea, immerse yourself in this zen-like serenity, and imagine that there was once someone like you in the world. Half a pot of green tea, hiding thoughts of longing, and a light veil covering the mundane world. 10 years ago, Yi Qingzhu was still an 18-year-old girl. By chance, she had married Yang Ning, becoming his woman. With the acting techniques Yang Ning had taught her, she spent the past decade refining her craft. She won 5 Golden Horse Best Actress awards and countless other accolades, becoming the most beloved star in Hsinchu. Now, with her debut single, every word and note of the song echoed with traditional elegance. Woo! After recording, Yi Qingzhu took a deep breath. Her first single was finally complete. Great. This song really suits your voice. The melody and lyrics are gentle, and the tone is soothing. It's very comfortable to listen to. The most important thing is that it's a traditional style song, with a zen-like quality. I believe many fans will love it, came the voice of the sound engineer from outside the recording booth. Finally, it's done. This song is my gift to my fans, Yi Qingzhu said with a smile, slowly taking off her headphones and walking out of the recording studio. Qingzhu, your phone just went off. Someone might have sent you a message, the sound engineer reminded her. Message? Yi Qingzhu frowned, picked up the phone from the desk, and gently tapped on it. Sure enough, there was an unread message. Darling, more, hubby is down the mountain. Have you missed me in these 10 years? The simple message made Yi Qingzhu's body tremble, and her eyes even turned red. At the same time, not only Fang Shuya and Yi Qingzhu, but also the other wives received the message from Yang Ning. The most beautiful diplomat of Shenju, Qin Yi, the most beautiful doctor, Xiao Yu, the Black Widow of the Golden Triangle, Jin Keek, moniker from the prestigious Monique family in Europe, Shenshu's most beautiful female football queen, Zhu Zhiyun, Princess Shalamar from Dubai, the world's top female assassin Yu Chiluor, and Queen Isabella from Sambar country. All of Yang Ning's wives received his message that he had come down the mountain. Chapter 3, 10 years later, will you rule the underground world with me? Golden Triangle, Eastern Tea Country. Yangjiang Town. This is the most chaotic area of the Golden Triangle, connecting with Jian and Laos countries. Known for its heroin production and rampant drug trafficking, it is the most infamous place in the Golden Triangle. The indigenous population here is heavily involved in drugs, with over 90% of the people addicted. Firearms and ammunition are widespread, and deaths are a daily occurrence. The region is a hotbed of chaos. To the west of Yangjiang Town, there is a river called Rhinoceros River. Downstream of the river, there stands a 3-story bamboo house. Inside the house resides a woman, known as the Black Widow, who instills fear in the entire Golden Triangle. She controls nearly a third of the underground trade in the region. Her subordinates are all ruthless killers, well armed with firearms, ammunition, and heavy weapons, enough to rival a battalion. This Black Widow, however, is little known in terms of her true identity. In reality, she is from Shenju, named Jin Keek, 28 years old. 10 years ago, she infiltrated the Golden Triangle and built her own power, controlling a third of the underground trade in the region. In today's world, many things are off limits to governments, especially when it comes to underground trades in the Golden Triangle, where every country seeks a share. Jin Keek, representing Shenju, has quickly established a firm foothold in the Golden Triangle in just 10 years. Leader. Someone from Shenju has arrived and wants to meet you. A woman in business attire entered the bamboo house and bowed slightly to the beautiful woman lying on a bamboo chair. I know. Jin Keek nodded, reclining in the bamboo chair, revealing a black spider tattoo on her shoulder. It was this black spider tattoo that earned her the infamous Black Widow title, which shook the entire Golden Triangle. Bring me my clothes. Jin Keek turned over, revealing a breathtakingly beautiful face. Her exquisite features, seductive red lips, and devilish figure were clearly visible under her clothes, which couldn't hide her ample chest. This stunning woman, the Black Widow of the Golden Triangle, had never allowed a man to approach her in the last 10 years. Any man who came within 3 feet of her had died. Ding dong tilde tilde. Suddenly, her phone, placed on the bamboo chair, vibrated. Jin Keek frowned and gracefully picked up the phone, opening an unread message. Darling, more, hubby is down the mountain. Have you missed me in these 10 years? The simple words made Jin Keek fixate on the message. The cold, murderous heart she had always kept hard and frozen began to warm. Yes, down the mountain. 10 years I've built an empire in the Golden Triangle for you. Would you be willing to rule the entire underground world with me? Jin Keek muttered to herself. Africa, Tanzania. Capital, North Ka, Shenju Embassy. Qin Yi, the youngest and most beautiful diplomat of Shenju, had been sent by the Shenju government on a diplomatic mission to Tanzania. She now resided in the embassy along with other Shenju officials. Tanzania was a small country in constant turmoil. The two main military factions there fought relentlessly for power. Qin Yi's mission was to mediate the conflict and help establish friendly diplomatic relations between Tanzania and Shinju. This was a very important diplomatic mission, and Qin Yi felt the weight of responsibility. She was constantly on edge, always thinking of the two countries' best interests. Since she represented Shinju, every action she took drew attention from the world. "Ambassador, this is the order from the second-in-command." A staff member walked into Qin Yi's office, holding a document signed by the second-in-command and handed it over to her. An order from the second-in-command. Qin Yi was startled, a trace of anxiety flashing across her flawless face. She had a feeling about what the document might contain. "Does the second-in-command want us to withdraw from Tanzania?" Qin Yi furrowed her brows. The order was clear: with the two military factions in Tanzania fighting for control, Shinju had failed to mediate the situation. For safety reasons, all Shinju officials, including the consulate staff, were to be evacuated. It seems all the efforts over the past 6 months were in vain. "Notify everyone. We'll evacuate Tanzania tomorrow." "That's an order," Qin Yi said calmly. "Yes, Ambassador," the staff member nodded and left. Ding dong tilde tilde. Just then, Qin Yi's phone rang with an unread message. "Darling, more, hubby is down the mountain. Have you missed me in these 10 years? The simple message was like a thunderbolt in Qin Yi's mind, causing her to freeze for a moment. "He is down the mountain. 10 years the diplomatic skills you taught me haven't gone to waste. Xiao Li, evacuate Tanzania as quickly as possible. The faster, the better. I need to return to Shinju immediately and meet someone." Qin Yi ordered. As Yang Ning's message reached each of his wives, the balance of power in the world began to shift. Chapter 4, Sir, are you here for an interview? Haisha City, Shuyer Cosmetics Company, Limited. This is the Haisha branch of the Shuyer Group. As a subsidiary of a listed group, Shuyer Cosmetics Company, Limited holds a certain reputation in Haisha City. After all, Shuyer is a leading cosmetic brand in Shinju, with a presence in international markets. It has become the most reliable and high-quality cosmetics brand in Shinju. "Sir, we have arrived at Shuyer Cosmetics Company, Limited." A blue taxi slowly stopped in front of the company's entrance. The driver glanced disdainfully at Yang Ning, who was sitting in the front passenger seat. The reason for the driver's disdain was clear: Yang Ning's appearance was too outdated. He wore a simple white shirt that was slightly yellowed, paired with black casual pants and old leather shoes. He looked like someone who had just stepped out of the countryside. Yang Ning didn't care about the driver's condescending gaze. He smiled warmly and confidently. "How much is it, driver?" 30. Pay via Alipay or WeChat. The driver hesitated for a moment. WeChat or Alipay? Yang Ning was taken aback, then laughed helplessly. "Sorry, I haven't downloaded those payment apps. I'll pay in cash." He reached into his pocket, took out 3 crumpled 10 yuan bills, and handed them to the driver. "Thanks." Yang Ning opened the door and walked toward the entrance of Shuyer Cosmetics Company, Limited. The morning sunlight shone on him, making him appear striking. His rugged side profile, high nose bridge, deep-set eyes, and sharp features were enhanced by his short, sun-kissed hair, exuding an aura of quiet confidence. In a word, handsome. In general, only the most charming, mature, and handsome men can pull off a buzz cut. If you were to say what separated Yang Ning from success, it was simply a suit, a tie, and a watch. Shuyer Cosmetics Company, Limited. Standing at the company's entrance, Yang Ning reflected deeply. 10 years ago, he personally taught Fang Shuyer how to start a business from scratch, discussing global economic trends, the most profitable industries, the most in-demand sectors, and imparting knowledge about economic management, networking, and more. Who would have thought that, after 10 years, she would have built an entire cosmetics empire? This girl really didn't let me down. Yang Ning smiled and stepped through the entrance of the company. "Stop. Who are you?" "Non-staff members are not allowed inside." Inside the gate, Yang Ning saw employees swiping their cards to enter the building, but he paid no attention and followed a beautiful woman into the building. However, a security guard stopped him because he didn't present an employee ID. "I'm here to see Fang Shuyer," Yang Ning said lightly. "What? You're here to see Fang Shuyer? Are you kidding me?" The security guard gave him a dismissive glance. "Just look at your attire. Shuyer Cosmetics Company, Limited doesn't allow people dressed like that inside. And Fang Shuyer is the chairman of our group. You can't just meet her whenever you want. She asked me to come here to find her. Yang Ning didn't get angry. He had grown accustomed to such looks over the years. After 10 years, Yang Ning's temperament had changed. If this had been before, the security guard would already be lying down. Fang Shuyer asked you to come find her? Did I hear that right? That's the biggest joke I've ever heard. Someone like you could know our beautiful chairman. The security guard looked at Yang Ning with disdain. By the way, sir, are you here for an interview? Sorry, interviews are based on real talent, not just because you claim to know our chairman. Over there is the interview entrance, and this is for employees. Please step aside. The security guard pointed to the nearby entrance, which led to the interview area. An interview? Yang Ning chuckled. He had no choice but to take out his phone and text Fang Shuyer, I'm waiting for you at the company, but the personal qualities of your employees need some training and improvement. After sending the message, Yang Ning turned and walked toward the interview entrance. The reason he didn't call Fang Shuyer was because his phone was an old one from 10 years ago. It could only send and receive messages but couldn't make calls. Ding dong tilde. As Yang Ning walked into the interview area, his phone rang. He thought it was a message from Fang Shuyer, but to his surprise, it was from his second wife, Yi Qingzhu. Darling, I'm on my way to Haisha. I'll see you tonight. 10 years, and finally, I can meet this bad guy of mine. These simple 2 sentences made Yang Ning's heart warm instantly. After 10 years, these wives hadn't forgotten their husband. Second wife is now the most popular actress in Hsinchu. Meeting her will surely make a huge stir in the entertainment industry, right? I bet there will be a lot of gossip on the hot search tomorrow. Even so, I will meet my wife openly, Yang Ning thought to himself and confidently stepped into the interview hall on the first floor. Yang Ning wasn't in a hurry. Since Fang Shuyer hadn't arrived yet, as her husband, he could at least help her inspect the company's recruitment process and procedures. Chapter 5, You don't meet the company image, please leave. In the interview hall, there were 7 job applicants standing, 4 women and 3 men. The spacious interview hall had only a few interviews desks, and not even a chair for applicants to rest. This detail surprised Yang Ning. As a subsidiary of the Shuyer Group, which is Haisha's largest cosmetics company, such a lack of thoughtful recruitment service was hard to justify. This was clearly a failure of the HR department. No matter the position, any company should make the recruitment process more humane for its applicants. There wasn't even a seat for applicants to sit on. How were they expected to feel about this? Today's applicants were relatively few, so they could stand in line. But what if there were more applicants? Given the current job seeker ratio in Hsinchu, would they all have to stand in line if thousands came for an interview? Next. The chief interviewer called out. A male applicant walked forward and sat down on a chair 3 meters away from the interviewers. Yang Ning squinted his eyes. There were 3 people sitting at the interview's desks. In the middle was a young man in a blue suit with a stylish hairstyle. He looked to be just over 25 years old, casually reclining in his chair, playing with his phone while occasionally glancing at the applicants with a nonchalant attitude. The interviewer to the left was a middle-aged woman in a business suit, and the one on the right was a middle-aged man in a black suit. Yang Ning was curious. How did this young man, who looked so carefree, end up as the chief interviewer? Given his age and experience, how could he sit in such a position? And there were 2 senior executives sitting beside him. Was this young man the face of the HR department? Sorry, your resume doesn't meet the requirements. Next. The young man barely glanced at the applicant's resume before dismissing him outright. The male applicant gritted his teeth, picked up his resume, and left, clearly dissatisfied. Seeing this, Yang Ning furrowed his brow. From the applicant's speech, professional skills, and work experience, Yang Ning could tell that he was an excellent, high-caliber talent. Yet, he had been turned away so easily. Yang Ning couldn't help but smile. He was curious about the background of this young man. How had he managed to sit in the chief interviewer's seat and dismiss candidates based solely on whether they looked good rather than their professional skills? Soon, a beautiful female applicant walked forward and sat down in front of the young man. When the beautiful woman sat down, the young man's eyes lit up, revealing a completely different attitude. His gaze shamelessly roamed over her body. Clearly, this woman met his aesthetic standards. The young man glanced at her resume, then looked her up and down, before slowly saying, "You've passed. Report to the HR department tomorrow." Next. He gave the beautiful applicant a meaningful look before calling for the next person. In less than 10 minutes, only 2 applicants had been accepted, both women with good looks and figures, even though they lacked the professional skills. They had been accepted because the young man had chosen them. The other 5 applicants were rejected. Throughout the process, the other 2 interviews remained silent, calmly observing while the young man ran the show. It seems like this young man holds some influence in the company. However, since Fang Shuyer is using the networking techniques I taught her, she shouldn't allow someone like this to be in charge of recruitment, Yang Ning thought to himself. Although Fang Shuyer was the chairman of Shuyer Group and had tens of thousands of employees under her, including many branches across Hsinchu, it would be impossible for her to personally oversee everything. Power had to be delegated, which led to a lot of high-ranking executives being inactive or turning a blind eye to certain issues. Next. The young man called out again. Yang Ning walked forward with a smile and sat down in front of the interviewers. "Sorry, you don't meet the company image. Please leave." Before Yang Ning could even say a word, the chief interviewer outright rejected him. Chapter 6, The Chairman Has Arrived. Yang Ning didn't stand up or get angry. His expression remained calm as he looked directly at the interviewer. He said faintly, "Is this how your company handles recruitment? Our company hires professional talent, not for beauty contests. I noticed the candidates earlier. For male candidates, the chances of being hired are almost zero. As for the female candidates, even if their resumes are simple, their education and work experience are basic, with no solid technical skills, they still got hired. I'd like to know, is your company hiring professionals or just selecting beauty contestants?" Yang Ning smiled as he stared at the young man. As his wife's employee, he didn't mind firing such an unproductive person. He could just kick him out. "What? This is our HR department's business. When did it become your place to intervene?" The young man sneered. "Aren't you just a job seeker? You're pointing fingers at me. You don't even deserve to. Look at your own identity. With your attire, hiring you would be embarrassing for the company." The young man continued with disdain. Yang Ning glanced at the other 2 interviewers. "Aren't you going to say something? Jiang Yu is the HR manager of our company. He decides who gets hired. If you want to join, you have to go through him," the middle-aged man said slowly, his tone slightly respectful toward the young man. "Jiang Yu is the HR manager, he's in charge. Enough. You don't meet our company's image. Please leave, or I'll have to call security." The middle-aged woman also spoke, casting a disdainful glance at Yang Ning. "Jiang Yu. At such a young age, he is already the HR manager? Interesting." Yang Ning chuckled, stood up, and said, "It seems like your company needs some reform. How can you keep such useless people around? What a waste. You." The young man's face changed slightly. How dare he call him useless? "Security. Get this person out of here. Since when can unkempt people like him come to interview at our company?" "No need for security, I'll leave on my own," Yang Ning calmly replied, turning to walk out of the interview hall. HMPH. Where do these extraordinary job seekers come from? His white shirt is even yellowed. He obviously came from the countryside. And he dares to give me advice. The young man sneered as he watched Yang Ning slowly leave. Now, as the HR manager, he controlled the entire company's recruitment. He could hire whoever he wanted, and no one dared to question him. Even the 2 senior executives beside him kept their eyes closed, afraid of offending him. His father, Jiang Lan, was the deputy manager of the company's branch in Haisha, one of the most powerful positions in the office. The position of general manager had been vacant for a long time, and it was rumored that it would soon go to his father. If that happened, his power in the company would be immense. The branch's general manager, as part of a first-tier city, would have great authority, a good salary, and an annual income of no less than 3 million. Manager. At this moment, a beautiful secretary in uniform walked in from the outside of the interview hall, casting a flirtatious glance at the young man. "The deputy general manager asked you to get ready. The chairman will hold a high-level meeting shortly." "The chairman? The young man's eyes widened. You mean, the beautiful chairman of the group, Fang Shuya? Yes. The chairman has arrived in Haisha and is on her way to the branch. The deputy general manager asked you to prepare and clean up the HR department. The beautiful secretary nodded. The chairman came to Haisha. How could she be here? She didn't come last year. Could it be, there's a new appointment? The young man took a deep breath. Could it be the general manager's appointment? Let us go. We need to get ready. The young man gritted his teeth and hurriedly left the interview hall. Ding dong tilde tilde. As Yang Ning walked out of the interview hall and stood at the entrance of the building, his phone chimed with a new unread message. Darling, where are you? I'm almost at the branch office gate. You bad man, it's been 10 years, and I've missed you so much. A warm message from his wife made Yang Ning's heart swell with motivation. It's been 10 years. Finally, I get to meet my first wife. Yang Ning smiled as he typed a reply. I'm at the company's first floor gate. Quick, quick. The chairman is coming. Clean up the first floor hall. Wipe the vases by the main door. Get a red carpet. The chairman is coming in person, and this is the branch's front. It must be perfect. Notify all department managers to gather at the main gate to welcome her. Just then, a stern voice came from behind Yang Ning. A middle-aged man with a bulging belly walked out, dressed in a fitting suit with his hair combed back, showing signs of a receding hairline. He had a commanding presence. He was the vice president of the branch, Jiang Lan. Who is this person? His attire is a mess, no tie, and his shirt is yellowed. When did we hire someone like him? Jiang Lan scowled. Is the HR manager blind? If the chairman sees this, she might criticize me. Someone. Throw him out. Jiang Lan waved his hand toward a nearby security guard. Chapter 7, You started it. Get out of the way. Yang Ning glanced at the two security guards walking toward him, both dressed in uniforms. Oh? Got quite the temper, huh? Dad. This guy is deliberately causing trouble at the company. Look at his outfit. He tried to come in for an interview earlier, but I kicked him out of the interview hall. He is probably in a bad mood now and has nowhere to vent. At that moment, Jiang Yu, dressed in a blue suit, came out. He looked at Yang Ning with complete disdain. Security. Get him out of here. I don't want the chairman to see him. Someone like him, looking so shabby, will only disgrace our branch. Jiang Lan said coldly. Yes, Deputy General Manager. The two security guards nodded and walked toward Yang Ning. I had already toned down my temper, planning to keep a low profile, but you guys are really too disrespectful. Since you started it, don't blame me for being rude. Yang Ning said calmly, his face still composed as he stared at Jiang Lan. Take action. Jiang Yu urged from the side. Sorry about this. One of the burly security guards, looking a bit apologetic, reached out with both arms to grab Yang Ning. Are you sure? Yang Ning looked at the security guard with a faint smile, sidestepping his arms. He gently pushed forward with his right hand, sending a force as heavy as 100 pounds crashing into the guard's shoulder. Boom! In an instant, the security guard was sent flying backward, crashing onto the red carpet in front of the main entrance. He rolled several times on the ground, clutching his shoulder in pain, his face contorted in agony. The security guard was sure that his shoulder bone had shattered. Everyone watching was stunned. With such a light push, a burly security guard had been sent flying. How much strength did that take? Was this security guard an actor? One of those with first-rate acting skills? I told you, my temper has been much more controlled, so don't provoke me. I absolutely hate it when people lay their hands on me. Yang Ning said calmly, his expression unchanged. He didn't look at the guard writhing in pain on the ground but instead stared at the intersection in the distance, waiting for his big wife to arrive. You? Jiang Lan was startled. He knew the strength of this security guard very well. He was a distant relative, a former soldier, strong and considered a half-retired veteran. He never expected that such a seemingly inconspicuous man like Yang Ning could send him flying with just a light touch. It was unbelievable. Dad, should we call someone? Jiang Yu walked up to Jiang Lan, his face darkening. Call someone? You want to make things worse? The chairman is about to arrive. Hurry up and get him taken away and clean up the red carpet. Jiang Lan glared at his son. Yes. Jiang Yu gritted his teeth, signaling to another security guard. The guard immediately understood and helped the injured colleague to his feet, sending him to the company's medical room temporarily. Dad, what should we do now? After seeing the injured security guard being carried away, Jiang Yu asked. Don't worry about him for now. Jiang Lan looked at the time. The chairman should be arriving soon. We absolutely can't leave a bad impression before the chairman. Otherwise, the general manager position will be in jeopardy. Got it. Jiang Yu nodded, his face grim as he glared at Yang Ning, feeling somewhat displeased. All the attention today was being stolen by this unassuming man standing in front of him. At the company's entrance, all the senior executives of the branch had gathered, and all the department managers were present, all there to welcome the chairman. Look! That's the chairman's motorcade. The chairman has arrived. At that moment, one of the sharp-eyed department managers shouted in excitement. Four cars slowly drove up to the intersection. The lead car was a red flag sedan, followed by a stretched Maybach, a black Mercedes, and an Audi A6. Seeing the motorcade approaching, everyone tensed up, holding their breath. Jiang Lan, however, smiled slightly and maintained his gentlemanly composure. Some of the female department managers straightened their backs, puffed their chests, hoping to make a good impression on the chairman. As for Jiang Yu, his eyes were fixed on the second car, the stretched Maybach, his eyes constantly gleaming. Because the group chairman, Fang Shuya, was here, and this was the first time he had ever seen the female tycoon of China. She had a devilish figure and an exquisite face that could bring down a kingdom. He had long been captivated by her, having only seen her on TV or in photos before. However, Jiang Yu knew that someone like him would never have a chance to interact with Fang Shuya in his lifetime. That's why he had his father, Jiang Lan, arrange for him to join the Shuya group and become the HR manager at the Haisha branch. Jiang Yu had always regarded the 28-year-old chairman as a goddess, someone out of reach, someone who could never be desecrated. Finally here. Yang Ning stood at the side of the entrance, smiling as he watched the motorcade slowly approach. His heart couldn't help but feel a bit excited. It had been 10 years. Had his big wife changed much in that time? Had she gained weight? Or lost weight? Had her looks and figure changed? 10 years ago, when she was 18, Fang Shuya had married him and entered the bridal chamber. Back then, she was still a bit immature. 10 years later, at 28, Fang Shuya had transformed into a poised, charming, mature, and powerful woman. Chapter 8, everyone was stunned. Bang! Soon, the car door opened, and a woman in a beige long dress stepped out of the red flag sedan. She had black hair flowing over her shoulders, white casual shoes on her feet, delicate features, light makeup with subtle lipstick, and blue contact lenses, giving her an exotic look, almost as if she were a mixed-race beauty. She was Cao Qinxue, the current director of Shuya Group. Next, from the extended Maybach, stepped out a woman wearing a pink and white cheongsam, her curly hair flowing over her shoulders. With a high nose, cherry lips, and flawless skin that seemed to break with the slightest touch, she had a figure with perfect curves beneath the cheongsam, slender, long legs, and elegant high heels. She walked with the aura of a queen, radiating commanding presence. She was Fang Shuya, the chairman of Shuya Group. Following the Maybach, the Mercedes and Audi cars opened their doors, and four senior executives from the company headquarters carefully stepped out, following closely behind. Chairman, we arrived at the Haisha branch, a bespectacled secretary said, walking up to Fang Shuya. Shuya. This is probably the second time we've been to this branch, right? At this moment, Cao Qinxue walked up to Fang Shuya, wearing a charming smile. Shuya, what's wrong? Cao Qinxue paused when she noticed that Fang Shuya didn't respond, instead biting her lip. Her eyes were slightly misty, and tears seemed to well up in her gaze, showing an expression of vulnerability that was completely out of character. Cao Qinxue furrowed her brows. After knowing Fang Shuya for 6 years, this was the first time she had ever seen her show such a demeanor. Fang Shuya had always been aloof and commanding, like a queen ruling over Shuya Group, with everyone feeling the pressure of her strength. She was never someone to show weakness. Chairman. Behind them, the secretary tentatively called her name. However, Fang Shuya still didn't respond. She was lost in thought, staring at the familiar yet unfamiliar figure standing at the side of the door. The familiar smile, the familiar face. But the aura around Yang Ning was strange now. 10 years had passed, and not only had Fang Shuya changed, transforming from a naive girl into a mature, charismatic woman, but Yang Ning had also changed. He was no longer the boyish youth but a more mature, steady, wise, and rational man. This girl, she's really become so beautiful. So captivating. She's no longer the naive 18-year-old girl. Yang Ning stood at the side of the door, smiling as he gazed at Fang Shuya. When he saw her, his heart seemed to melt. 10 years. This was the second time in 10 years that he had smiled so happily, so content. After 10 years of separation, the two were finally meeting again. But because they were far apart, the senior executives waiting at the company entrance didn't notice Fang Shuya's actions. Leading the way, Jiang Lan, his round belly sticking out, smiled and walked toward Fang Shuya and the others, bowing respectfully. Behind him, all their high-level executives from the branch, department managers, and others followed cautiously, not daring to make a sound. When facing the headquarters staff and the chairman of the group, they had to be extremely careful. Otherwise, a small mistake could anger the higher-ups, and they could lose their positions. Chairman. Director Cao. Welcome, leaders from the group headquarters. Jiang Lan led the branch's executives, all smiles, bowing and greeting them with the utmost respect. Chairman. Jiang Yu's heart skipped a beat. Facing the exalted female chairman, he dared not look her directly in the eyes and only carefully glanced at her from the corner of his eye. However, Fang Shuya ignored all the flattery. She walked past Jiang Lan and the others, heading straight toward Yang Ning. Her pace quickened, and in the end, she practically ran toward him. Everyone was stunned. Jiang Lan, who had been full of excitement just moments ago, felt awkward when he realized the chairman had completely ignored him. Shuya. Cao Qinshua widened her eyes in shock. She opened her mouth, but before she could react, Fang Shuya had already thrown herself into Yang Ning's arms. This is. What's going on? The senior executives from the headquarters and the secretary couldn't believe their eyes. They stared at the scene in front of them in disbelief. The exalted chairman was actually throwing herself at a strange man? Heavens! Could this be real? The secretary rubbed her eyes, unsure if she had seen it wrong. This. Jiang Lan's smile froze. The beautiful chairman, the richest woman in China, was actually throwing herself at a stranger. What was going on? If this got out, it would definitely be explosive news for Shuya Group and would cause a stir across China. The chairman, she. How is this possible? My goddess, she is actually throwing herself at a stranger, and that man is someone I couldn't stand, the one I kicked out of the interview hall. Jiang Yu was completely stunned. Who is he? Cao Qinshua's eyes grew misty. For the first time, she saw Fang Shuya so intimately interacting with a man. Could he be Shuya's boyfriend? How could that be? Fang Shuya's standards were so high. The chairman of the group, the richest woman in China, how could she possibly choose him? Chapter 9, He is my husband. Little girl, 10 years apart, and you're still as lovable and adorable as ever. Yang Ning hugged Fang Shuya tightly, feeling an inexplicable warmth in his heart. It was a long-lost feeling of happiness. Fang Shuya also held Yang Ning tightly, feeling his warmth, his breath, and his aura, as though trying to make up for the emptiness of the past 10 years. Honey, I missed you. Fang Shuya's simple words made Yang Ning's determined heart tremble. 10 years ago, there were no grand promises, no declarations of eternal love, but Fang Shuya married Yang Ning, believing that he was the man for her in this lifetime. When she left the mountain back then, Yang Ning only left behind one promise: he would come to find her in 10 years. For this promise, Fang Shuya had waited for 10 years. 10 years is an agonizingly long time for a blooming young girl. However, Fang Shuya had persevered, working her way up to her current position, and even Yang Ning found it hard to believe. Baby, I missed you too. Yang Ning gently pushed Fang Shuya away, reaching out to touch her beautiful face. He smiled and said, 10 years, and the once naive girl has now become elegant, charming, and so much more mature. Only you can enjoy the tenderness beneath this beauty. Fang Shuya's face turned slightly red, feeling a little shy under Yang Ning's intense gaze. You can use your arrogance to rule the entire business empire, but when it comes to me, you can only be gentle, Yang Ning teased her. Honey, your flirting skills haven't changed a bit, Fang Shuya giggled, covering her mouth as she laughed, feeling so happy. Of course. How else would I have won you over 10 years ago? Yang Ning replied nonchalantly. All right, there are so many people watching. You're the chairman of the group, the richest woman in China, maybe it's better if you act a little more dignified. Yang Ning glanced at the stunned crowd. Got it, Fang Shuya nodded. She then turned and, holding Yang Ning's hand, walked over to Cao Qianxue, introducing him. Xie Xue, this is my husband, Yang Ning. Cao Qianxue was still in shock and took a while to react, exclaiming, What? Shuya, you mean he's your husband? Cao Qianxue opened her mouth, and behind her, the secretary and the 4 senior executives from the group were all equally stunned. The chairman has a husband. The richest woman in China is married. As the chairman's most trusted assistant, they had never even heard of this, and now this husband suddenly appeared out of nowhere. If this news got out, it would not only shock Shuya Group, but would likely become a media sensation across the country. Honey, this is Cao Qianxue, the director of the group headquarters, the second most important person at Shuya Group, and also the most seductive and enchanting flower in the company. Fang Shuya introduced her. Hello, I'm Yang Ning, Fang Shuya's husband. Yang Ning squinted, slowly extending his right hand. Cao Qianxue was indeed very beautiful, on par with Fang Shuya. Her seductive figure and stunning face, especially her blue eyes which were enhanced by contact lenses, made her look like a mixed-race beauty, radiating an exotic charm. Cao Qianxue was startled but slowly extended her hand. I'm Cao Qianxue, Shuya's good friend. You've worked hard these years, taking such good care of my Shuya. Yang Ning nodded, gently touching Cao Qianxue's jade-like hand before slowly pulling it back. All right, let us go inside. Shuya, you've been hiding this so well. You'll have to tell me how this husband of yours suddenly appeared out of nowhere, Cao Qianxue said with a teasing smile, glancing at Yang Ning as she walked toward the building. Cao Qianxue didn't comment on Yang Ning's appearance. In today's world, one's looks couldn't determine their success, and since Yang Ning dressed this way, there must have been a reason for it. Honey, let us go. Fang Shuya took a deep breath, wiped away her smile, and put on a more aloof demeanor as she walked toward the building. Cao Director, Chairman, and all the senior executives from the group headquarters, please come in. At that moment, Jianglan greeted them with a big smile. Jiang, pass their word down and gather all the senior executives from the branch companies to the conference room. The chairman has some new announcements. The secretary shot Jianglan a glance and then followed closely behind Fang Shuya. All right. Jianglan nodded, signaling to the others around him before cautiously following. Honey, why are you dressed like this coming down the mountain? Look, even your shirt has turned yellow. In the elevator, only Fang Shuya, Yang Ning, and Cao Qianxue were present. The others had taken a separate elevator. You know I've been stuck on the mountain for 10 years. This outfit is the best I could manage. Yang Ning chuckled bitterly, not paying attention to Cao Qianxue's surprised look. Honey, after the meeting, I'll take you shopping for some new clothes. Fang Shuya straightened Yang Ning's collar, smiling sweetly. 10 years. It's time to rekindle that passionate feeling with my wife. Yang Ning pinched Fang Shuya's beautiful face. Ahem. At that moment, Cao Qianxue couldn't stand it anymore and gave Fang Shuya a look. I say, don't you see I'm here in the elevator? Can you stop showing off your love and feeding me dog food? Xie Xue, we're best friends. I know you won't mind. Fang Shuya stuck out her tongue. At least you're the chairman, my superior. Can't you be a little more dignified? Cao Qianxue smiled bitterly. Ding tilde. Soon, they arrived at the 36th floor. The elevator doors slowly opened, and the three of them stepped out. Chapter 10, The New General Manager. Dad. What should we do now? In the hallway on the 36th floor, Jiangyu carefully followed his father, Jianglan, with a distressed look on his face. At this moment, Jiangyu was feeling regret. Before, he had never taken Yang Ning seriously. He had even kicked him out of the interview hall. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, Yang Ning would become the chairman's husband, shocking everyone. A man who looked like a rural worker, dressed inappropriately, had suddenly transformed into the chairman's husband. The contrast was just too much. You're asking me? When have I not cleaned up your mess? Jiang Lan shot a glare at his son, genuinely furious. At this crucial moment, he had offended the chairman's husband. Wasn't he this courting disaster? Jiang Lan had worked so hard for the position of general manager. Today, the chairman had finally arrived to announce new appointments, and Jiang Lan had been hopeful about taking over as the general manager. But now, his son had ruined everything. Now, you've completely offended the chairman's husband, and during the interview, you even abused your power as the HR manager to engage in nepotism. I'm afraid you'll lose your position, Jiang Lan said, his face clouded with anger and worry. But I've been in the branch office for so many years and contributed a lot to the company. The chairman is someone who values loyalty and history. He shouldn't blame me. As long as I can keep my position as vice president, everything else will be negotiable. Jiang Lan took a deep breath, his expression shifting between anger and uncertainty, as he quickened his pace toward the conference room. Dad. Jiang Yu clenched his teeth in frustration, unwilling to accept the situation, and hurried after him. Now that he knew Yang Ning was the chairman's husband, Jiang Yu had lost his earlier confidence. He had been able to walk around the company arrogantly simply because of his father's vice president position. If his father lost that position, Jiang Yu would be completely finished. Shuya Group was the largest and most powerful cosmetics company in the country. Countless people fought to get into Shuya Group and work for the most beautiful and richest female tycoon. That was why Jiang Lan had been so cautious over the years, working hard and making sure he didn't make any mistakes. He couldn't afford to lose his current position. It was a height he had worked for many years to reach, and he didn't want to fall from it and have nothing left. With his vice president position, he had access to the elite circle of Haisha and enjoyed an annual salary of 3 million. Soon, the group walked into the conference room and sat down in their respective seats. The main seat was, of course, reserved for Chairman Fang Shuya. To her left sat Group Director Cao Qinxue, and to her right sat Yang Ning. Next were the accompanying secretaries and the first senior executives from the headquarters. Then came Jiang Lan, the vice president, along with department managers from the branch office. Is everyone here? Fang Shuya scanned the room from her seat, her calm voice carrying an undeniable authority. Chairman, all the senior executives from the branch office are here, Jiang Lan said with a forced smile. Then let us begin. Fang Shuya nodded. I have two purposes for coming to the Haisha branch today. One is to announce the new general manager, and the other is to meet someone. Let me introduce you first. This is my husband, Yang Ning. I hope you all remember this. Treat him as you would treat me, the chairman, Fang Shuya said flatly. Understood. The room instantly became serious. I'm just an outsider, you all carry on, Yang Ning shrugged as everyone's gaze shifted toward him. Some were puzzled, some curious, some fearful, and some uneasy. He gestured for Fang Shuya to continue with the meeting. Xiao Lin, please go ahead, Fang Shuya glanced at the secretary on the left side of the table. Yes, Chairman. The secretary nodded and stood up, walking toward the LED screen at the front of the conference room. Colleagues, according to the headquarters research, Shuya brand cosmetics hold 90% of the market share in mainland China and 20% in overseas markets. The quality index has reached 9 stars, showing a positive trend. However, the secretary looked around the room and continued, I've also conducted an investigation into the cosmetic indexes in various cities, including small and medium-sized cities. Overall, things are still good, but recently, sales in Haisha have dropped by 3%, and the complaint rate has risen to 5%. Some of the complaints I reviewed include issues with our packaging, slow delivery, poor after-sales service, and some even claim that the quality of Shuya cosmetics has declined. How do you explain this, Vice President Jiang? The secretary slowly returned to his seat. This. Jiang Lan clenched his teeth and stood up. I'm sorry, Chairman, this issue. Enough. Before Jiang Lan could finish, Fang Shuya waved her hand to cut him off. The reason Shuya Cosmetics has become a beloved brand, dominating the Chinese market and being exported overseas, is because of its quality. When I first created this brand, I emphasized quality first, service second, and banned all substandard products. Now, with the drop in Haisha's sales, quality issues, and an increasing number of complaints, I only want one thing: an action plan. Yes, Chairman. I will handle it as soon as possible and design the best plan to boost Haisha's sales. Quality first, service second, Jiang Lan nodded, not daring to meet Fang Shuyer's gaze. You have 3 days. If you can't come up with a solution in 3 days, you'll be replaced as vice president, Fang Shuyer said coldly. 3 days. Jiang Lan's face changed slightly, and he could only grit his teeth and accept. All right, now it's time for the appointment of the new general manager. Fang Shuyer stood up, sweeping her gaze over the room. Instantly, everyone's heart skipped a beat, especially Jiang Lan, who clenched his fists, his forehead already beading with sweat. The position of general manager at the branch office was highly influential, almost on par with that of a headquarters director. Many senior executives from the headquarters were eager to compete for it. The new general manager will be Yang Ning. Fang Shuyer gave a teasing smile as she looked at Yang Ning beside her. Chapter 11. Your son doesn't have to come to work anymore. When the chairman Fang Shuyer announced the successor to the general manager, the entire conference room fell silent instantly. Par. The notebook in Jiang Lan's hand fell directly to the ground. He was stunned and a little absent-minded. The position of general manager is not mine. Jiang Lan felt his mind go blank. Dad. Jiang Yu's face was very ugly, but now that the chairman was here, he didn't dare to speak directly, so he could only push Jiang Lan's body carefully. Congratulations. Congratulations to Mr. Yang, the successor to the position of general manager. Jiang Lan came back to his senses instantly. Although he was very unhappy, this was an appointment issued by the chairman himself. How dare he disobey? Congratulations to Mr. Yang. Congratulations to Mr. Yang, please take care of me in the future. Congratulations to Mr. Yang, with you in charge of the Haisha branch, the branch will surely prosper. All of a sudden, several department managers flattered Yang Ning. Me? Yang Ning looked at Fang Shuyer in surprise and couldn't help but smile bitterly. You are trying to get me into trouble. You know, I like to be alone, I like freedom, and I don't like to be bound by these identities. Don't worry, you are just a title. You can let others do the big and small affairs of the company. Fang Shuyer smiled and said, now, the group headquarters is preparing to enter the internet. The cosmetics industry has reached its peak and has begun to transform slowly. I know your ability. Although I don't like to be bound by these identities, I am your wife anyway. Just think of it as sharing the burden for your wife. Okay. Yang Ning nodded and did not refuse. Mr. Yang, congratulations. Cao Qinshue on the side looked at Yang Ning meaningfully. Yeah. Yang Ning just nodded, knowing Cao Qinshue's thoughts. Next, please ask Mr. Yang to express his gratitude and give guidance to the branch company. Fang Shuyer stood up, gave up her seat, and sat in Yang Ning's seat. You little girl. Yang Ning shook her head, walked towards the main seat step by step, sat down, and looked unusually calm. I will only say 3 things. First, I don't like betrayal. Second, I don't like employees who do nothing. Third, the company does not support idlers, does not support useless people, and does not need a humanized company. In the future, if there is no big deal inside the company, the vice president can solve it alone, without looking for me. I am used to freedom and don't want to interfere in too many company affairs. However, since it is the first day of taking office, I also want to rectify the internal management of the company. Yang Ning said lightly. Will it not be the new officials 3 fires after taking office? It seems that I am going to be cold. Hearing Yang Ning's words, Jiang Yu was a little restless. Vice President Jiang. Yang Ning glanced at Jiang Lan. President Jiang, you say. Jiang Lan nodded. Jiang Yu, the manager of the Human Resources Department, is your son? Yang Ning asked. Yes. I wonder what instructions General Manager Yang has. Jiang Lan said with a smile on his face, but he was muttering in his heart, this guy is not going to show off his power right after taking office. At least give me, the vice president, face. I want to know, what ability does he have to sit in the position of HR manager? Yang Ning stared at Jiang Lan with a smile. I hope that your son doesn't have to come to work tomorrow, and I don't want to see him. This request, can you do it? General Manager Yang, did Jiang Yu do something wrong? He is still young and motivated. Please give him another chance. Jiang Lan gritted his teeth. Give the opportunity to others. The company does not need useless people. Yang Ning said lightly, not giving Jiang Lan face at all. Also, the two executives in the interview hall today resigned together. What's the use of such inaction and flattering management? Okay. I will deal with it immediately after the meeting, Jiang Lan said with a smile on his face. Vice President Jiang, in fact, you are still very capable, but don't indulge your son too much, and don't indulge those flatterers too much. I only have the title of general manager now, so you should do it boldly. As long as you do it well, you will have the opportunity to stand higher, and you can also have a seat on the board of directors of the group. Yang Ning glanced at Jiang Lan. His face was very calm, and his tone was very plain, but he gave Jiang Lan great encouragement. Yes, President Jiang. Thank you for the cultivation of the group and the trust of the chairman. Jiang Lan nodded deeply. Okay, today's meeting is here, adjourn. Yang Ning waved his hand. You guys, find a place to stay first. Return to the headquarters in 2 days. Fang Shuyer instructed the accompanying secretary. Okay, chairman. The accompanying secretary nodded and turned to walk out of the meeting room. Xiaoxue, do you want to go shopping with us? I haven't been shopping for a long time. It's just right to buy some new clothes for my husband. Fang Shuyer turned her head and smiled and pulled Cao Qinshue's hand. Go ahead. I don't want to eat dog food with you. Cao Qinshu rolled her eyes at Fang Shuyer, then stood up. I'll go back to the hotel first. I'm too tired today. I'll go back and take a bath. Husband, let's go too. Fang Shuyer took Yang Ning's hand and walked out of the meeting room. After a while, a black Mercedes slowly drove away from the company, disappeared at the intersection, and drove towards the downtown area of Haisha. Chapter 12 Sensation, the man behind the richest woman Haisha, Wonder Plaza. This is the city center of Haisha, the most lively place. A black Mercedes slowly drove into the underground parking garage of Wonder Plaza. After a while, Yang Ning took Fang Shuyer's hand, walked out of the underground garage, and walked into the first floor of the plaza. Wife, let me make it clear first. I am just a general manager with a title. I don't care about anything. My heart is not in the business. I just want to be the man behind you. I will do what you can't do. I just want you to go higher and further. Yang Ning pinched Fang Shuyer's little face. Hubby, don't worry. You don't have to worry about these. 10 years ago, when I married you, you taught me so much. In this life, even if it takes a lifetime, I will work hard to repay you and let you see me go further and stand higher. Fang Shuyer nodded. Look. That beauty looks so familiar. Huh? Isn't she the most beautiful and richest woman in Shinju? Oh my god. She actually appeared in Wonder Plaza in Haisha. Don't they just look alike? Fang Shuyer. The richest woman in Shinju. How is it possible? Suddenly, the first floor of the entire Wonder Plaza was in commotion, because Fang Shuyer's name was as well known as the richest man in Shinju, Xiaomar Ge. As the richest man in China, Xiaomar controls the entire Alibaba group, while Fang Shuyer, as the richest woman, controls the entire Shuyer group. The images of the two have long been deeply rooted in people's hearts. No mistake. She is the richest woman, Fang Shuyer. By the way, have you seen the man next to her? They look so intimate. Is he her kept gigolo? No. Look at his dress, so rustic. Fang Shuyer is the richest woman. How could she like him? Quick. Let's go and take a look. The people on the first floor of the square quickly rushed towards Yang Ning and the others. Damn, it's true. Oh my god. I actually met the richest woman, so lucky. No, I have to take a photo as a souvenir. Excuse me, are you the richest woman, Fang Shuyer? Fang Shuyer, who is the man next to you? Is he your boyfriend? Soon, the two were surrounded by a dense crowd. If the security guards hadn't come to clear the way, they probably wouldn't have been able to leave. Sorry, make way. Yang Ning carefully protected Fang Shuyer, fearing that she would be squeezed and injured by these people. Handsome guy, who are you to Fang Shuyer? Seeing Yang Ning protecting Fang Shuyer and walking step by step to the second floor, some gossipers began to approach and kept asking. I am Fang Shuyer's husband. Yang Ning said lightly, sorry, make way. Soon, with the support of the security guards, the two finally squeezed out of the crowd and walked up to the second floor. Do you usually go out like this? At the escalator on the second floor, Yang Ning held Fang Shuyer's hand and frowned as he looked at the people who kept taking pictures and chasing after him. I don't usually go shopping. I ask my assistant to buy whatever I need. Fang Shuyer shook her head and smiled charmingly. Today, for my husband, I went shopping for clothes for the first time. It seems that you will be on the hot search soon. Yang Ning smiled bitterly. It's okay, it's no big deal. I wish everyone in the world knew that you are my husband, Fang Shuyer. Fang Shuyer shrugged, took Yang Ning's hand, and walked towards a Playboy store. Hey! Editor, guess who I saw? In front of the escalator on the first floor, a man wearing glasses took out his mobile phone with excitement and dialed out, Editor, listen to me, this news is absolutely explosive. I met the richest woman Fang Shuyer in Wonder Plaza in Haisha. She is actually married, and there is a man who claims to be her husband next to her. Is this considered big news? You want pictures? You want videos? Okay, I'll send them to you right away. The man with glasses hung up the phone and sent a few photos and videos he had taken before to the editor-in-chief of his company. He is a paparazzi who is hanging around outside and delivers some of the latest gossip news to major entertainment websites and gossip websites. I didn't expect to be so lucky today and actually met the richest woman Fang Shuyer. No. I have to post these videos and photos to Douyin and Kuaishou. The man with glasses stroked the frame of his glasses and clicked on his Douyin video. In less than half an hour, Douyin, Kuaishou, and major short video apps were all going crazy. Entertainment headlines, news headlines, crying dog headlines, Weibo headlines, etc., all scrolled with photos and video messages about Fang Shuyer. And the man behind Fang Shuyer was also spread wildly, causing a sensation throughout China. Many people speculated whether the man behind Fang Shuyer would be a mysterious and low-key rich man, otherwise how could he be worthy of Fang Shuyer? Moreover, Fang Shuyer has been walking the path of a strong woman over the years. It has never been heard that she has been married or had a man. Now that she has emerged, it is really shocking. In less than an hour, Yang Ning became famous. The mysterious man behind the richest woman. Fang Shuyer's husband. The little white face kept by the richest woman. The richest woman's godfather. The richest woman's brother. And so on, a series of gossip news, overwhelming, spread wildly throughout China. Chapter 13 Husband, I'm not interested in money. Yang Ning didn't know about these netizens' crazy rumors, and he didn't want to know. He just wanted to be the husband of the richest woman quietly, accompany her well, let his wife go further, stand higher, and stand on the threshold of the world's richest man one day. As for his fame, Yang Ning didn't care even more. He still had to meet his other 9 wives, so how could he care so much? Besides, his mission after going down the mountain was to fight for more wives and reach his goal of 101 wives. He ignored these gossip news directly. In the Playboy store. Husband, this one looks good, you try it. Fang Shuyer picked up a shirt and looked at Yang Ning carefully. After she was satisfied, she let Yang Ning try it on. This was the first time Fang Shuyer helped Yang Ning buy clothes, and the first time she went shopping with Yang Ning. That sweet feeling of first love came back again. In the past 10 years, Fang Shuyer has never been as happy and relaxed as today. She has always been very strong in front of outsiders, like a queen, cold and arrogant, and has never had a little woman's attitude. Now, choosing clothes for Yang Ning is her job as a wife. The 2 beautiful waitresses on the side were trembling with fear at this moment, not daring to be careless, because they were facing the richest woman in China. If the service attitude was not good, the rich woman would just say a word and they would pack up and leave. Moreover, the store was full of people, and some people took out their mobile phones to take pictures and videos, blocking the way. If it weren't for the security guards stopping them, the store would probably be squeezed out. This is the influence of the richest woman in China. No matter where she goes, she has her own aura, and her fame is no less than those first-line stars. Okay, I'll try. Yang Ning nodded and took off his yellowed shirt directly. Hubby, you? Fang Shuyer glared, and Yang Ning took off his shirt in front of her, revealing his strong arms, strong chest, and 8 abdominal muscles on his abdomen, giving people a strong sense of security. What are you afraid of? I'm a man, I don't mind these. Yang Ning shrugged. But there are so many people watching outside. Fang Shuyer blushed, she glanced at Yang Ning's back, there was another hideous scar on it, which was particularly glaring. Hubby, what's the matter with this scar on your back? Fang Shuyer was shocked. 10 years ago, when he entered the bridal chamber, Yang Ning didn't have any scars on his body. It was obviously the injury he got after going down the mountain. It's okay. It's just a superficial wound. Yang Ning didn't care and put on the shirt Fang Shuyer had chosen. Well, not bad. After putting on a decent shirt, the whole person's temperament has changed, and he is much more handsome. Fang Shuyer looked at him carefully and was very satisfied. I want all shirts of this style, the same size. Fang Shuyer said calmly. R. A plump waitress was startled and a little nervous. This style of shirt, there are 5 colors, there are about 30 pieces in the store, are you sure you want them all? Please pack them for me and send them to Shuyer Cosmetics Company, Limited. Fang Shuyer nodded. Okay. The plump waitress trembled. 30 shirts, at 1,200 yuan per piece, 30 pieces would be more than 30,000 yuan, and she could get a lot of commission. Honey, let's go and look at the suits over there. Fang Shuyer took Yang Ning's hand and walked towards the suit area. Another beautiful waitress followed carefully, looking at Yang Ning from time to time. She really wanted to know what kind of person the man of the richest woman in China would be. He is handsome and has a good figure, but I don't see any outstanding features. Is he a low-key and mysterious rich man? Otherwise, how can he be worthy of the richest woman? The beautiful waitress muttered, could he be the gigolo kept by the richest woman? This guy is really lucky. It must be a blessing from his previous life that he can hold a strong woman like the richest woman. Wife, it's enough. I can't wear much, don't waste money. Yang Ning followed Fang Shuyer and smiled bitterly when he saw Fang Shuyer picking this and that. Husband. You don't have to save money for me. I'm not interested in money and have never touched money. Take this card and spend it as you like. Besides my husband, what interests me is how to build a business empire and let Shinju people stand in the position of the world's richest people. Fang Shuyer didn't care, but directly took out a brick black card and stuffed it into Yang Ning's hand, and continued to choose the suits she thought were good looking. Oh! The beautiful waitress next to her was stunned. It was the first time she heard such a domineering word. As expected of the richest woman, with assets of hundreds of billions, she is not interested in money. In her eyes, money is probably just a number. The beautiful waitress muttered to herself. Waiter, help me pack these 5 suits. After Yang Ning tried on the suits, Fang Shuyer waved to the beautiful waitress. Okay. The beautiful waitress nodded and carefully packed the suits Fang Shuyer had chosen. Although these 5 suits were not the most expensive, they were not much different. The total of 5 suits was more than 100,000, which was already the sales of the store for a week. Ding dong tilde. Just when Yang Ning was about to check out, his mobile phone rang. It was an unread message. Yang Ning's eyes lit up, and he had already guessed in his mind. Soon, he took out his mobile phone and clicked on the unread message. Honey, I'm at High City Airport, where are you? This is a message from the second wife Yi Qingzhu. Chapter 14. He is just an ordinary person. Honey, whose message is this? Fang Shuyer frowned and glanced at the old-fashioned mobile phone in Yang Ning's hand. From Yi Qingzhu. Yang Ning did not hide it. He took a closer look at Fang Shuyer and found that she did not show any displeasure. The popular actress Yi Qingzhu. Fang Shuyer nodded, naturally knowing the existence of this Yi Qingzhu. 10 years ago, Yang Ning not only married her, but also 9 other 18-year-old girls, but there was not much intersection between the 10 wives. Moreover, when he went down the mountain, Yang Ning also told his wives not to have private contact. Every skill he taught could make each of them reach the peak. If they were too close and had too many ties, they would be tied up and could not boldly let go to start a career. As for Yi Qingzhu, the most popular actress in China, Fang Shuyer had seen her in the entertainment news, but she had never contacted her. 10 years had passed, and compared with the immaturity 10 years ago, Yi Qingzhu had become more mature and feminine. Wife, you won't be jealous, will you? Yang Ning joked. Of course not. 10 years ago, the 11 of us married you together and entered the bridal chamber together. Naturally, there was not much estrangement. It's just that so many years have passed, and it's a little awkward to meet. Fang Shuyer shook her head. I believe in you. Women can live in harmony. Yang Ning patted Fang Shuyer on the shoulder. Honey, where is she? Fang Shuyer asked, looking directly at Yang Ning with her beautiful eyes, and a hint of arrogance inadvertently flowed in her eyes. Obviously, Fang Shuyer was jealous. However, she hid it. Fang Shuyer also wanted to compare Yang Ning's other women to see who was the best. So what if it was the most popular actress in China? I am the richest woman in Hsinchu, with a net worth of 100 billion. I can be called the most outstanding and famous strong woman in Hsinchu. High City Airport. Yang Ning pinched Fang Shuyer's nose. When I went down the mountain, I sent a message to all 10 wives. They should all know that I went down the mountain. Do you want to pick her up together? Go. Of course. Why not? Fang Shuyer pouted. Well, I also want to see her. After all, she is also my wife. However, among the 10 wives, you are the oldest. Yang Ning knew that Fang Shuyer was a little unhappy, so he threw her a sweet date. Really? Fang Shuyer's face was happy. You said it, I am the eldest wife, and they have to listen to me. This. I can't say for sure, this is your women's business, I won't interfere. If they are willing to listen to you, then you are the boss. Yang Ning shrugged. Let's go. Yang Ning took Fang Shuyer's hand and walked towards the cashier. Honey, you're going to pick her up dressed like this? Isn't that too shabby? Change into a new set of clothes and throw away this old one. Seeing that Yang Ning didn't care about her appearance at all, Fang Shuyer felt like she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Okay. Yang Ning nodded, picked up a set of clothes, and walked into the fitting room. After a while, a handsome, sunny man walked out of the fitting room, with a solid figure, decent clothes, and a temperament that changed instantly, from an inconspicuous passerby to a domineering CEO. Honey, so handsome. Fang Shuyer's eyes lit up. You're so sweet. Yang Ning leaned over and kissed Fang Shuyer's forehead. This wave of affectionate display instantly hurt the people watching outside the store. Oh my god. Who is this man? The richest woman was captured by him. TSK. He should be the most powerful man among the 1.4 billion people in China. With the richest woman in hand, money is not a problem no matter where he goes. But, having said that, this man is really handsome, and his appearance is still worthy of the richest woman. But, what is his identity? Is it really like the gossip on the internet, that he is the gigolo kept by the richest woman? Look, they are coming out. Suddenly, the crowd outside the store were in turmoil, and everyone couldn't wait to pick up their phones and take pictures crazily. Mr. Fang, can I take a photo with you? Mr. Fang, is this man really your husband? Mr. Fang, please say something. Mr. Fang, is this man very strong in that aspect? Mr. Fang. As soon as she walked out of the Playboy store, dozens of people swarmed around her and squeezed in front of Fang Shuyer. The security guards were unable to stop them. Don't squeeze, or you'll get hurt. Fang Shuyer frowned. She was not angry because the people of Hsinchu are like this, they love gossip and excitement. Everyone make way. Yang Ning is also a wife-protecting maniac. He put his strong arms around Fang Shuyer. Even if he was crowded, he remained motionless and kept Fang Shuyer firmly behind him. Since everyone is so curious, I will announce it again. This is my husband. As for his identity, you don't have to guess. He is not some super rich man, nor is he a red descendant of a certain leader. He is just an ordinary person. Fang Shuyer held Yang Ning's hand and announced Yang Ning's identity to everyone in a loud voice. This can be regarded as Fang Shuyer's announcement to the entire Hsinchu people that she, Fang Shuyer, the richest woman in Hsinchu, is a married person. Sorry, make way. Yang Ning was very satisfied with Fang Shuyer's answer. He held her hand and walked towards the elevator of the underground garage under the escort of the security guard. High City Airport. VIP Special Exit. Yi Qingzhu wore sunglasses and a black windbreaker jacket. Under the black windbreaker, she wore a pink top, white shorts on the lower body, and a pair of white sneakers on her feet. She was dressed very lively. When she walked out of the exit, the waiting hall of the airport was already surrounded by densely packed fans, no less than 100 people. Chapter 15: The Troubles of the Second Wife. Yi Qingzhu. Qingzhu. Little bamboo shoot, I love you. Goddess, my beloved daughter. Little bamboo shoot, we will always be with you. Suddenly, seeing Yi Qingzhu walk out of the exit, hundreds of fans went crazy and squeezed towards the exit. Hello everyone. Yi Qingzhu took off her sunglasses and waved to all the fans, looking very down to earth, not that big star style, nor that high and cold style. Yi Qingzhu greeted the fans while walking, looking at those excited fans. She felt inexplicably satisfied in her heart. These were all loyal fans who supported, liked and cared for her. Some fans held and led sign "Little Bamboo Shoot" in their hands. This was the nickname given to Yi Qingzhu by the fans. Because there was a bamboo character in her name, the fans called her Little Bamboo Shoot. Xiao Zhusun, can I take a photo with you? Xiao Zhusun, I heard you've prepared a new song. When will you release an album? Xiao Zhusun, we fans love you so much. Whether you become a singer or return to the film industry, we will support you. Xiao Zhusun, we will always love you. Some crazy fans kept chasing along the exit, and the airport security couldn't stop them. Everyone be careful, don't squeeze, don't fall. Recently I have prepared a new song. As for when to release a new album, it will be in the next few days. Thank you for your love. Love you. Yi Qingzhu put her hands together and bent down to hundreds of fans to express her gratitude. Facing some crazy fans' requests for photos, she did not refuse and acted very fan-friendly. After a while, Yi Qingzhu walked into a VIP lounge at the airport through a special channel accompanied by her assistant. Qingzhu, your trip to Haisha this time is not arranged by the company. You didn't apply to the company. I'm afraid the company will make things difficult for you. In the lounge, assistant Luo Jujia put down her gift and sat next to Yi Qingzhu, feeling a little worried. I just want to see one person this time in Haisha, so I don't need to apply to the company. Moreover, I have helped the company make so much money over the years. Even if the company's top management makes things difficult for me, they have to consider my face. Yi Qingzhu said lightly. Qingzhu, your contract will expire in 1 month. The company has been urging you to renew it. What do you think about this matter? Luo Jujia hesitated. Yi Qingzhu can have the current status and achievements. In addition to his own conditions and excellent performance, it is also inseparable from the promotion of Xingchen Entertainment Company behind him. It can be said that the reason why Yi Qingzhu is popular is 2/3 of his talent and luck, and the other 1/3 is because Xingchen Entertainment Company has been pushing and supporting him behind the scenes. However, Yi Qingzhu, who has been popular for so many years, has also made a lot of money for Xingchen Entertainment Company, and has signed a 5-year contract. She has been helping Xingchen and the company make money, and very little can go into her pocket. 5 years, the assets under Yi Qingzhu's name do not exceed 300 million. Although Xingchen and the company have been kind to her, she has been exploited by the company for the past 5 years. Yi Qingzhu has long wanted to leave Xingchen Entertainment Company, but she cannot leave because the contract has not expired. Once she breaches the contract, she will be burdened with a penalty of 3 billion, which she cannot afford with her current assets. You still want me to work hard for the company? Dream on. I will leave when the contract expires. Yi Qingzhu snorted coldly. Qingzhu. Xingchen Entertainment is the largest entertainment company in China, with a strong background. Many disobedient stars have been discredited by the company behind their backs, so that their careers are dim, and they have fallen from first-line stars to third-line and fourth-line stars. It is difficult for them to rise again. If you don't agree to renew the contract, once the contract is really terminated, I am afraid that the company will maliciously slander you behind your back and ruin your reputation. Which entertainment company will dare to sign you at that time? Luo Jujia reminded. Don't worry. Now my man has gone down the mountain, no one can threaten me, I believe in him, it's just a Xingchen Entertainment Company, my man can handle it. Yi Qingzhu said lightly, with inexplicable confidence and trust in Yang Ning. Qingzhu, you said, your man. Luo Jujia widened her eyes. Yes. My man. Yi Qingzhu nodded, with a charming smile on her face. He is almost here, we just need to wait for him here. Yi Qingzhu took a deep breath, feeling a little uneasy, a little excited, and excited. After 10 years, I can finally see my husband. Huh? Isn't this Fang Shuya, the richest woman in China? Oh my god. Why are all their headlines full of her gossip? And it's all going crazy on Douyin, Kuaishou, and Weibo. The man of the richest woman. The strongest man among the 1.4 billion in China. The mysterious man behind the richest woman. Suddenly, Luo Jujia on the side exclaimed. She just took out her mobile phone and casually browsed Weibo, and was attracted by the scrolling information. The richest woman in China actually has a man? Qingzhu. Look, the richest woman in China is popular. Also, the richest woman's man is popular too. Oh my god. This is absolutely explosive news. The richest woman in China actually has a gigolo. Now, it's on the hot search headlines. The popularity of the richest woman is no less than that of you, the most popular actress. Luo Zhizhi widened her eyes, flipping through the videos and photos on Weibo, and she was excited. Yi Qingzhu frowned. When she heard Fang Shuyer's name, her heart skipped a beat. Fang Shuyer only existed in Yi Qingzhu's memory 10 years ago. However, she had always paid attention to this richest woman in Hsinchu, but they had never met. Because Fang Shuyer was also her husband's woman, and they were sisters who got married together 10 years ago. Could it be that Fang Shuyer cheated? Yi Qingzhu's face changed slightly, and she glanced at Luo Zhizhi's mobile phone. When she saw the familiar yet strange man in the photo, she stood up in shock. Chapter 16. The airport exploded. This bad guy. Yi Qingzhu gritted her teeth. She didn't expect that the first woman Yang Ning found after going down the mountain was Fang Shuyer. Qingzhu, look. This man is actually the husband of the richest woman. Oh my god. The richest woman is actually married. When did this happen? How come no one knows? TSK. It's really well hidden. No news has been leaked. Luo Zhizhi took a deep breath, unable to hide her excitement. This is definitely explosive news, more shocking than a celebrity cheating. Qingzhu, what's wrong with you? At this time, Luo Zhizhi noticed Yi Qingzhu's reaction and was stunned. This bad guy. Yi Qingzhu stomped her feet, feeling a little unhappy. Could it be that her position in Yang Ning's heart is not as good as Fang Shuyer's? Qingzhu. Luo Zhizhi pulled the corner of Yi Qingzhu's clothes. Yi Qingzhu came back to her senses instantly, her face calmed down. What's wrong? Qingzhu, why don't you react at all? This is the man of the richest woman. This is the first time he has been made public. A lot of gossip has spread like wildfire. It is estimated that the stock market of Shuyer Group will soar. Luo Zhizhi said excitedly, what is the identity of this mysterious man? Is he really just an ordinary person? How can an ordinary man catch the eyes of the richest woman? I really want to meet such a man. Luo Zhizhi said secretly. Beep tilde. Suddenly, at this moment, Yi Qingzhu's mobile phone rang. She frowned. It was a call from a stranger. Yi Qingzhu hesitated for a moment and directly pressed the answer button. Hello. Little girl, did you miss me? A deep voice came from the other end of the phone. Husband. Yi Qingzhu's heart trembled. Little cutie, it's me. Yang Ning replied in a very cheesy way. Bar. You're old, but you're still cute. Yi Qingzhu blushed. Where are you? By the way, whose phone number is this? I'm at exit F1 of the airport, where are you? Yang Ning asked. This is Shuyer's phone number. My phone doesn't have a dialing function, so I can only use her phone to call you. Now that I'm down the mountain, it's time for you sisters to get to know each other again and get along well. HMPH. You bad guy, you're not the first one to come to me when you go down the mountain, I won't pay attention to you. Yi Qingzhu pouted and put on an angry look. Oh my. My second wife, I sent messages to every wife when I went down the mountain. It just so happened that Shuyer was going to come to the Haisha branch, so I went to her first. Are you jealous of this? Yang Ning smiled bitterly. HMPH. Wait, I'm going to exit F1 now. Yi Qingzhu pouted and hung up Yang Ning's phone directly. Qingzhu, this is. Luo Zhizhi asked carefully on the side. My husband is here, let's go. He's waiting for us at the F1 exit. Yi Qingzhu smiled and walked towards the F1 exit happily. Qingzhu, wait for me. Luo Zhizhi pushed the suitcase and caught up with Yi Qingzhu. Qingzhu, you have a husband. Are you really married? How is it possible? The company has signed you for so long, and I have never heard you say it. Now you have a husband. Isn't this news too explosive? Qingzhu. You can't mess around with this. You are a public figure, and you have concealed this from the company, so you have to pay the price of breach of contract. Luo Zhizhi was anxious. Have I ever lied to you? My husband and I have been married for 10 years, and we have also been separated for 10 years. Yi Qingzhu rolled her eyes at Luo Zhuzhe. What? Luo Zhuzhe almost lost her balance. Qingzhu, this news of yours is no less than the richest woman revealing her man. Once it is secretly photographed, it will definitely make a sensation in the entire entertainment industry. I can't care so much. Now that my husband has gone down the mountain, he will decide everything. Yi Qingzhu said lightly, and walked quickly towards the F1 exit. Look! The goddess is out. Yi Qingzhu, I love you. Goddess. Little bamboo shoot. Little bamboo shoot, can you sign for me? Little bamboo shoot, can we take a photo together? Goddess, where are you going? We will escort you. Seeing Yi Qingzhu coming out of the VIP lounge, the fans squatting outside and the paparazzi mixed in the fans all surrounded her at this moment. However, the airport security had already made preparations and immediately blocked in front of Yi Qingzhu to protect her in the middle. Sorry, I'm in a hurry. Everyone, please don't push. Yi Qingzhu put his hands together in front of the fans with an apologetic look on his face, quickened his pace, and walked towards the F1 exit. At this time, the F1 exit of the airport was already crowded. Because a black Mercedes-Benz stopped at the waiting area at the exit, and two figures stood next to the car. One was Fang Shuya, the richest woman in China. The other was Yang Ning, the man of the richest woman. The arrival of the two instantly caused a sensation. The airport staff also received orders from the top to dispatch all the service personnel to clear the crowded crowd and ensure the safety of the richest woman. After all, the richest woman in China was too important. If she was injured at the airport, they could not bear the responsibility. Look, Yang Ning was surrounded by staff on duty in front and behind, and the crowd of onlookers were all isolated 5 meters away and not allowed to approach. Mr. Fang, do you want to move? There are too many people watching here, causing congestion, which may affect your safety. Besides, this is the airport exit, which is not a good thing. At this time, a uniformed staff member came over. She was the manager of the airport service department, responsible for the duty and safety of the entire airport. No need. I'm here to pick someone up. When the person arrives, I'll leave immediately. It will definitely not affect your work. Fang Shuya said apologetically. Besides, I'm safe with my husband. Fang Shuya glanced at Yang Ning beside her and showed a sweet and excited smile. Okay. The duty manager nodded and glanced at Yang Ning. She was really curious about what charm this man had. He could actually become the husband of the richest woman. Now, the internet has gone crazy. Many people want to dig out Yang Ning's background and information, but nothing has been found. So, Yang Ning suddenly became mysterious, leaving countless people confused. How could the man of the richest woman be so simple? Unless he is a kept gigolo. TSK. He is the man of the richest woman. The richest woman in China. This man is really lucky to be favored by the richest woman. Holding the richest woman is like holding a business empire. I envy you so much. With the richest woman in hand, you have endless money. Fang Shuya, the most beautiful rich woman, has money, looks, and a good figure, but she is really pushed by a pig. Are you blind? In fact, this man is quite handsome, but you are jealous. If you can't get it, you don't want others to get it. All of a sudden, everyone around the F1 exit started talking. Here he comes. Suddenly, Yang Ning's eyes lit up, and he saw a beautiful woman in a black coat and sunglasses walking towards him with a smile on her face at the F1 exit. Soon, with the arrival of Yi Qingzhu, the entire airport F1 exit exploded, and everyone was in a commotion. What's going on? Yi Qingzhu, the most popular female star in Hsinchu, has also come to High City. Chapter 17. The richest woman crashed into a popular actress. That's Yi Qingzhu, the most popular female star in China. Oh my god! What day is today? Not only did I run into the most beautiful rich woman, but I also ran into the sexiest and most popular female star. Today, Haisha Airport is really lively. The richest woman crashed into a popular female star. TSK, is this a contest between two goddesses? Yi Qingzhu, I love you. Fang Shuya, I like you. Two goddesses, can you take a photo together? Two goddesses, can you sign autographs together? Suddenly, the F1 exit of the airport originally only gathered hundreds of people, and with the arrival of Yi Qingzhu, the two parties were crowded together, and the scene was comparable to a huge fan meeting. Oh my god, am I seeing things? Someone rubbed his eyes. Popular female star, crashing into the richest woman. No, this rare scene must be photographed. Someone took out his mobile phone and took photos and videos frantically. The collision of two top goddesses, is this a competition? Many people speculated. Little bamboo shoots, we love you. We support you. At this time, some crazy fans came over to support Yi Qingzhu. In their minds, Fang Shuya, the richest woman, was not as good as their idol. However, some people are more willing to stand on Fang Shuya's side and become her loyal fans. In terms of appearance and figure, Fang Shuya does not belong to Yi Qingzhu. Of course, in terms of acting skills and talent, Yi Qingzhu may be better and more skilled. However, Fang Shuya is also a career woman. She is better than Yi Qingzhu in entrepreneurship and ability, and in terms of net worth, Fang Shuya is worth hundreds of billions, which is completely incomparable. Of course, both of them have reached the top in their own fields, so no one loses to the other. It's just that many people who love gossip like to compare the two goddesses. Before, the richest woman exposed the man behind her. This heavy news instantly sent her to the hot search headlines, and her man also became popular and became the focus of discussion among netizens. Now, a popular female star bumped into the richest woman at the exit of Haisha Airport. I wonder what they think. Yes. I really look forward to their meeting. I wonder if they will say hello. The two goddesses are the same age, the same appearance, and highly similar in field. It really makes people envious and jealous. Look. Yi Qingzhu is coming. Suddenly, the people who were 5 meters away from Fang Shuya turned their eyes to Yi Qingzhu at this moment, because Fang Shuya was standing in the middle of the F1 exit, and Yi Qingzhu was also walking towards this side. The two would definitely bump into each other. Mr. Fang, look. At this time, the airport's service manager was a little embarrassed. What day is today? It's okay that there is a heavyweight like the richest woman at the airport, but the popular actress Yi Qingzhu also showed up at the same time, and they happened to meet at the F1 exit, which made the airport staff feel infinite pressure. One is a popular actress, super popular, with over 100 million fans. The other is the richest woman, popular, with assets over 100 billion. Both of them have high status in Shenzhou and are considered public figures. The person I'm waiting for is here. Fang Shuya said lightly. The service manager was stunned. Could it be that the richest woman was waiting for Yi Qingzhu, the popular actress? Could it be that the richest woman wanted to ask Yi Qingzhu to be the spokesperson for a brand? Although the service manager was puzzled, she didn't ask much. This was no longer within her scope of responsibility. Her responsibility was to maintain order at the airport and protect the safety of the richest woman. This girl seems to have grown up. Yang Ning didn't care about the discussion and strange looks of the crowd. He just opened his hands slowly and walked towards Yi Qingzhu. This bad guy. When Yi Qingzhu reached the F1 exit, she felt her steps getting heavier and heavier. When she saw Yang Ning opening his arms, a tear rolled in the corner of her eyes. After 10 years, the two finally met. In the past 10 years, Yi Qingzhu was very strong. She went from being a stand-in to a minor role to her current position and height. Yang Ning contributed a lot to all this. 10 years ago, after the two got married, it was Yang Ning who taught Yi Qingzhu acting skills and the integrity that an actor should have. Actors don't act for money or fame. Actors act for roles and for the audience. Qingzhu, what's wrong with you? Behind her, Luo Juju was puzzled and reminded Yi Qingzhu. Little girl. Yang Ning shouted with a smile on her face. Husband. Suddenly, Yi Qingzhu burst into laughter, revealing a charming smile, and rushed directly to Yang Ning and threw herself into his arms. Yes. That's right. Yi Qingzhu threw herself at Yang Ning without any scruples in the astonished eyes of everyone, and hugged him tightly. Instantly, this move shocked everyone's jaws. Both Yi Qingzhu's fans and Fang Shuya's money fans were stunned at this moment. A popular female star actually threw herself at the man of the richest woman. Chapter 18 Tit for tat between wives. What is going on? Could it be that the man of the richest woman is Yi Qingzhu's biological brother? And the kind that has been separated for many years? Otherwise, how could they hug each other without any scruples? The most important thing is that the richest woman next to her did not stop them. It seems that they are undoubtedly a family. However, the nearest airport service manager was stunned at this moment, because she heard Yi Qingzhu shouting the word, husband, and then rushed to Yang Ning. Oh my god! Did I hear it right? The popular actress Yi Qingzhu called the man of the richest woman husband. This. The service manager was dumbfounded and felt that his brain was not enough. The popular actress called the man of the richest woman husband. Could it be that this man is not only the man of the richest woman, but also the man of the popular actress? The service manager did not dare to think further. The scene in front of him would definitely shock the whole of China, not only the entertainment industry, but also the bigwigs in the business world. Little girl, you have grown up, mature, beautiful, sexy, and charming. Yang Ning hugged Yi Qingzhu deeply, feeling the fullness of her chest and the fragrance on her body. You bad guy, you didn't even come to me first when you came down the mountain. Yi Qingzhu gritted her teeth, and pinched Yang Ning's back with a little force with both hands. Yang Ning felt a little pain, but was not angry. He stroked Yi Qingzhu's soft long hair with a doting face. Little girl, are you jealous? You are both my wives, and you have the same status in my mind, silly. Okay, you are a big star now, a public figure. If you hug a man in front of so many fans, I guess many fans' glass hearts will be broken. Yang Ning slowly pushed Yi Qingzhu away, took her hand, and walked towards Feng Shuya step by step. Behind him, assistant Luo Jija followed behind with a confused face, pushing the gift box. The scene in front of her had overturned her thoughts. Yi Qingzhu's husband turned out to be the man of the richest woman. Oh my god! Who is this man? He can capture the richest woman and make the popular actress throw herself into his arms. He is simply a godlike man. Little bamboo shoots. Yi Qingzhu. My goddess. Who is this man? My goddess is hugged by another man. Get out of the way, I'm going to beat this man to death. My goddess. How can you do this? You still want to beat her to death? She can kill you with just one finger. Don't you see that he is the man of the richest woman? Bamboo Shoots fans, maybe you think too much. This man may also be Yi Qingzhu's brother. Brothers and sisters can hug each other. Suddenly, Yi Qingzhu's fans exploded. Many fans couldn't believe that the goddess in their minds, the perfect goddess, actually hugged a man in public. And this man is their husband of the richest woman, which is incredible. Soon, this scene was photographed by fans, and the paparazzi mixed in the fans uploaded it to Moments, Weibo, short audio and video and other apps that are currently the hottest, most popular and most trafficked. It is conceivable that once this news spreads, it will definitely cause a big explosion in the entertainment industry. Hello, Sister Qingzhu, this is the second time we meet after 10 years, right? Feng Shuya stepped forward, stretched out her right hand, and looked at Yi Qingzhu with a smile on her face. Hello, Sister Shuya. Yi Qingzhu nodded, also stretched out her hand, and walked towards Feng Shuya. In an instant, the two jade hands touched slightly, and then separated, and the expressions of both of them were very indifferent. It's been 10 years, and I didn't expect Sister Qingzhu to stand at the top of the entertainment industry and become a household name. Feng Shuya smiled charmingly. If it weren't for my husband's instructions when we went down the mountain that we shouldn't have private contact, I would have wanted to find my sister a long time ago. Sister Shuya, you are joking, you are the richest woman in Shinju, worth hundreds of billions, and ordinary people like me can only look up to you. Yi Qingzhu said lightly. Although the two greeted each other, Yang Ning could see that this was a tit-for-tat between the two wives. Cry. Yang Ning smiled bitterly. Okay, there are too many people here, let's leave first. Let's go. I have someone book a place, let's go have a meal first. Feng Shuya nodded. Soon, the three of them walked towards the black Mercedes-Benz under the escort of the security guards. Behind them, Assistant Luo Jija put the luggage compartment in the trunk of the car and followed carefully. Xiao Zhusun, who is this man to you? Yi Qingzhu, is he your brother? Xiao Zhusun, can you tell our Guangfar fans who he is to you? Xiao Zhusun, are you a relative of the richest woman? Xiao Zhusun. Suddenly, hundreds of fans squeezed up, but Yi Qingzhu remained silent and did not speak, but bowed slightly to the fans with an apologetic face. Sorry, this is my private matter, please don't guess. Bang! Soon, the car door closed. The black Mercedes-Benz slowly drove away from Haisha Airport under the sight of everyone. However, less than a minute after leaving, several taxis followed the Mercedes-Benz. Obviously, the paparazzi could no longer sit still and wanted to dig deeper into the relationship between Yi Qingzhu and Yang Ning. Chapter 19: The Shock of the Entertainment Industry. Hsinchu, Shanghai. Headquarters of Xingchen Entertainment Company. Director's Office. Bang! Suddenly, a shock sounded throughout the office, and Zhu Bihua, the director of Xingchen Entertainment Company, slapped the table heavily, his face gloomy and terrible. The documents on the desk were thrown to the ground by him. Obviously, he was angry. Who can tell me what's going on? Zhu Bihua glanced coldly at the three agents in the office. Director, we don't know either. Now, these videos and photos have gone viral on the internet, and the popularity is no less than that of Fang Shuya, the richest woman on the hot search headlines. One of the agents wearing glasses spoke carefully. He is Yi Qingzhu's agent, Xue Xiaoxiao. Where is Yi Qingzhu? Why is she in Haisha? Who can tell me what's going on? Zhu Bihua took a deep breath. The photos and videos exposed on the internet are all gossip about Yi Qingzhu, and the entire Xingchen Entertainment Company has been pushed to the forefront of the storm. You know, Yi Qingzhu is the most popular female star under Xingchen Entertainment Company and is a household name. Now that such a scene has been exposed, it will have a great negative impact on her, which is something Xingchen Entertainment Company does not want to see. Director, I heard from assistant Luo Jujia that Yi Qingzhu went to High City this time to meet someone, and it should be the man in the photo. Xue Xiaoxiao said in a low voice. What is the identity of this man? Check it for me. Zhu Bihua frowned. Since he is the man of the richest woman, his identity must be extraordinary. Is it really like those gossip news, just Yi Qingzhu's brother? Director, could it be another situation? Xue Xiaoxiao reminded. Impossible. He is the man of the richest woman, how could he also be Yi Qingzhu's man? How could the richest woman be willing to share her man with other women? Zhu Bihua shook his head. Director, now that this matter has been exposed, it is estimated that there will be a lot of negative impacts. Moreover, Yi Qingzhu has not renewed her contract. Could it be that she did this on purpose? Xue Xiaoxiao continued, although Yi Qingzhu was promoted by our Xingchen Entertainment Company, her 5-year contract has expired. Moreover, she has made a lot of money for the company over the years. Now she has become a household name. She should have the idea of leaving the company. Humph. Does she dare? Without Xingchen Entertainment Company pushing her behind, she is nothing. If she dares to leave the company, I will definitely ruin her reputation. By the way, she went to High City this time without applying to the company, and her private life did not follow the company's contract provisions. Her reputation was damaged and it also brought a lot of negative impact to the company. This should be considered a breach of contract. Call her assistant immediately and ask her to return to the company immediately, otherwise the company will impose a penalty according to the contract provisions. Zhu Bihua said coldly. Okay. Xue Xiaoxiao nodded. Also, you two, quickly draw up a plan to resist those black fans and water armies, and don't let the company be affected by these negative news. Zhu Bihua ordered. Yes. The other two agents nodded. Although Xingchen Entertainment Company resisted those negative influences at the first time, there are still many gossips that are constantly exposed and spread wildly. After Fang Shuya, Yi Qingzhu also made the headlines of hot searches. The mysterious man behind Yi Qingzhu. Yi Qingzhu and the richest woman Fang Shuya have a secret that cannot be told. Yi Qingzhu's brother? Yi Qingzhu and the richest woman share the same husband? Yi Qingzhu and the richest woman together keep a gigolo? Yi Qingzhu is married? Yi Qingzhu's husband. Wait a minute, a series of gossip news, in less than an hour, spread wildly throughout the entertainment industry. Soon, the entertainment industry was shaken. Many of Yi Qingzhu's dark secrets were exposed, and there were also various news of cheating. In short, the negative news was huge. Although these gossips were false, they were enough to damage Yi Qingzhu's reputation. However, many of Yi Qingzhu's loyal fans still stood up and supported Yi Qingzhu. Even if Yi Qingzhu had a man, they could accept it because this man was good enough to be Yi Qingzhu's support. Because this man was also the man of the richest woman. How could a person who was favored by two goddesses be ordinary? High City, Wonder Hotel. A black Mercedes slowly stopped at the hotel gate. Get out of the car. I have someone booked a seat, let's have a meal first. Also, I have booked a room for you. On the co-pilot seat, Fang Shuya glanced at Yi Qingzhu, her tone very calm. Jia, move the gifts back to their hotel room first. I will have a meal with my husband and sister Shuya. On the back seat, Yi Qingzhu glanced at the assistant beside him. Okay. Luo Jia nodded. Beep tilde 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 tilde. Suddenly, at this moment, Yi Qingzhu's cell phone rang. She frowned and took a closer look. It was her agent's call. It's so annoying. Yi Qingzhu didn't answer it, but hung up the phone. Jia, don't answer any calls from the company. Yi Qingzhu said to Luo Jia. But Luo Jia gritted her teeth. Remember, you are my assistant, and you get paid by me, not by the company. Yi Qingzhu said lightly. Beep tilde 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 tilde. Suddenly, Yi Qingzhu's cell phone rang again, and she frowned even deeper. However, this time the call was not from the company, but from her friend in the circle, Zhao Xiaoyan. Hello, Xiaoyan. Yi Qingzhu answered the phone directly. Chapter 20 Best Friends in the Circle. Qingzhu, are you okay? Zhao Xiaoyan's voice came from the other end of the phone. What can happen to me? Yi Qingzhu smiled and didn't care. You're already on the hot search headlines, and you still say it's okay? There are a lot of gossip surrounding you now. What's going on? Did you go to Haisha? Who is that man? Isn't he the man of the richest woman? How is he related to you? You are a public figure, the most popular female star in China. Even if you have a boyfriend, you should be low-key. Don't you know how to cover it up? Now, you hug the man of the richest woman in front of so many fans and so many people. Isn't this giving black fans an opportunity to black you? Now, a lot of negative news has also come out, saying that you are fawning on the richest woman and that you are shameless to compete with the richest woman for a man. There are also various cheating and various hype. Qingzhu, tell me honestly, who is this man to you? It's not what the media is saying. Suddenly, Zhao Xiaoyan's voice became hurried. As Yi Qingzhu's best friend in the circle, she was really worried about Yi Qingzhu's situation, fearing that these negative news would affect her status and career in the entertainment industry. When did you become so gossipy? Yi Qingzhu said unhappily. It's not me who's gossiping, it's the photos and videos that have been taken and spread like crazy on the internet. How can I not believe it? Zhao Xiaoyan almost yelled. Xiaoyan, I haven't told you all this time. In fact, I got married 10 years ago when I was 18 years old, and this man is my husband. Now that young Ning has gone down the mountain, Yi Qingzhu doesn't want to hide it from her bestie anymore. What? Is your husband? Isn't he the man of the richest woman? Zhao Xiaoyan exclaimed on the other end of the phone. It's a long story. Anyway, he's my husband and the husband of the richest woman. Yi Qingzhu explained, okay, it's hard to explain it to you over the phone for a while. I'll explain it to you when we meet. Hang up first. Yi Qingzhu gritted his teeth and hung up Zhao Xiaoyan's phone directly. Whose call? Yang Ning held Fang Shuyer's hand and asked Yi Qingzhu beside him. My best friend in the circle. Yi Qingzhu nodded. It's not a big deal, right? Yang Ning stretched out his left hand and held Yi Qingzhu's jade hand. It's okay. It's just some gossip, don't pay attention to it. Yi Qingzhu shook her head. Soon, the three of them walked into the Wonder Hotel together. This scene shocked the hotel's security, front desk, and even the lobby manager. The richest woman in China and the most popular actress in China walked into the hotel hand in hand with a mysterious man. Moreover, these two goddesses didn't have any temper at all, and seemed to get along very harmoniously. What kind of man is this? It's incredible that two strong women with such a strong aura can hold it. At this moment, in a grey dehao not far from their hotel gate, a man in sportswear was holding a camera and filming the three people who walked into their hotel. TSK. This is the latest gossip photo, it will definitely sell for a good price. The man in sportswear put away the camera with a smile, then opened the car door and chased after the hotel. Emperor Xian, lead the way. Entering the hotel, Fang Shuyer said to the lobby manager. Okay. Mr. Fang, Emperor Xian is the most luxurious box in our hotel, on the 33rd floor. Please follow me. The lobby manager nodded cautiously and led Yang Ning and the other two to the elevator. I don't want to be disturbed by others when I eat. Wonder Hotel is a 5-star hotel in High City. I believe you can do it. Husband, let's go. Fang Shuyer took Yang Ning's hand and walked towards the elevator with a smile on her face. Sister Shuyer is really domineering and resolute. She is worthy of being the richest woman. Yi Qingzhu on the side joked. Sister Qingzhu, now that my husband has gone down the mountain, we will be a family from now on. I don't want there to be any disagreements or estrangements between sisters. We should advance and retreat together and be a gentle, virtuous and obedient wife. Fang Shuyer looked at Yi Qingzhu with a smile. Sister Shuyer is right. Husband. Let's go eat. Yi Qingzhu took Yang Ning's left hand and walked into the elevator. In the elevator, the lobby manager was trembling and stood straight in front of the three people. She didn't dare to speak because the richest woman was there. If she said something wrong, her position as lobby manager would be over. Listening to Yi Qingzhu and Fang Shuyer calling each other husband and husband, the lobby manager's little heart was about to be unable to bear it. She really wanted to know who this man was, who could make the richest woman in China and the most popular actress in China call him husband obediently, and they were not jealous of each other and were very harmonious. Ding tilde tilde tilde. Soon, we arrived at the 33rd floor, and the elevator door slowly opened. Mr. Fang, go ahead and you will reach Emperor Pavilion. There will be a special waiter at the door to serve you. The lobby manager said cautiously. Yes. Fang Shuyer nodded, took Yang Ning's right hand, and walked towards Emperor Pavilion. Huh. The lobby manager was relieved when he saw the three people leave. Too scary. What is the identity of this man? Is he a red son of a certain leader? Two goddesses are vying to call him husband. Incredible, incredible. He is really a big boss level figure. Ordinary people like me will never understand. The lobby manager said secretly, then pressed the elevator button on the first floor, and the elevator door slowly closed. Chapter 21, Your husband can write songs for you. Mr. Fang. At the entrance of the private room of Emperor Xian, a waiter in uniform looked at Fang Shuyer with a smile on his face, and his tone was a little respectful. Have all the dishes I ordered been served? Fang Shuyer asked. All served, just waiting for Mr. Fang to eat. The waiter nodded. Mr. Fang, please come in. The waiter gently pushed open the door of the private room of Emperor Xian and stood aside respectfully. Mr. Fang, if you need anything, call me in time. Well. You just wait outside the door. Mr. Fang nodded, took Yang Ning's hand, and walked to the dining table. TSK. It is worthy of being a 5-star hotel under Wonder Group. This private room is really luxurious. Yi Qingzhu looked around with amazement. It was magnificent and seemed to be decorated with gold. A private room was as big as a presidential suite, with a wine cabinet, a Chinese kitchen, a Western kitchen, and a large lounge. In the lounge, there was a most advanced LCD screen, which cost about 500,000 yuan. Honey, I don't know what you like to eat. When I made the reservation, I asked the hotel chef to prepare Western and Chinese food. Fang Shuyer pulled Yang Ning to sit at the dining table. There were quite a few dishes on the table, more than a dozen, both Western and Chinese, obviously made according to Fang Shuyer's taste. I have always only liked Chinese food. As for Western food, I have no appetite. Yang Ning said lightly. I also like Chinese food. As a Hsinchu person, I still like authentic Hsinchu cuisine. Yi Qingzhu smiled, picked up the chopsticks, picked up a piece of meat and gave it to Yang Ning. Honey, come, eat a piece of meat. You haven't eaten meat for a long time in the mountains for 10 years, right? For 10 years, I have eaten wild game in the mountains. How could I not have eaten meat? Yang Ning rolled his eyes at Yi Qingzhu, but thank you, my wife. My wife loves me the most. What? Does it mean that I don't love you? Fang Shuyer on the side glared at Yang Ning unhappily. You know I don't mean that. Come, wife, I'll pick up some food for you. Yang Ning smiled and picked up a piece of food that Fang Shuyer and Yi Qingzhu liked. It's been 10 years. I still remember what you liked when you were in the mountains. Yang Ning shrugged and continued to pick up a bite of food. By the way, what are your plans recently? It's been 10 years. What I taught you has almost brought you to the top of your respective fields, right? Yes. If it weren't for my husband teaching me economics, various business methods, how to start from scratch and many other knowledge 10 years ago, I wouldn't have reached my current height. Fang Shuyer nodded. Now, the cosmetics market in China is close to saturation, and I'm ready to transform towards internet finance. Internet finance. Yang Ning frowned. In today's China, which internet finance company is the largest? Husband, there are two super large internet financial companies in China today. One is Alibaba Group, owned by Ma Xiaoyun, the richest man in China, and the other is Penguin Group. These two internet financial companies almost occupy half of the country in China. Fang Shuyer slowly put down the chopsticks in her hand. Ma Xiaoyun? Alibaba Group. Penguin Group. Yang Ning nodded and patted Fang Shuyer on the shoulder. Whatever you like to do, do it boldly. Now that your husband has gone down the mountain, he will always be your strong backing. With your husband, no one can stop you. I will definitely let you go further and become the richest man in the world. My husband is still the best. Fang Shuyer showed a happy smile. Here, this is a reward from your wife. After that, Fang Shuyer picked up a chicken butt of white-cut chicken for Yang Ning. Oh, is there anyone who rewards their husband like you? Yang Ning smiled bitterly and turned to look at Yi Qingzhu beside him. Second wife, you hugged me in public before. As the most popular female star at the moment, your scandal is expected to be on the hot search headlines. Will it affect your star career? It's okay. Don't worry, husband. Yi Qingzhu shook her head. Although I am a public figure, I also have my own privacy. No matter how negative the impact is, I want to be with my husband. So what are your plans recently? Yang Ning asked. My contract with the company is about to expire, and I am also preparing to transform and enter the music scene. I want to release my first album. Yi Qingzhu took a deep breath. Obviously she has thought about it and is ready. Release your first album. Yang Ning's eyes lit up. How many songs do you plan to prepare for your first album? I've thought about it. I plan to prepare 6 singles for the first album. Yi Qingzhu picked up a piece of green vegetable, put it in his mouth, chewed it carefully, and continued, these days, I have prepared the first song of the new album. The song is called Half Pot of Yan. Half Pot of Yan. Sister Qingzhu, I will listen to it another day. I will be your first loyal fan. Fang Shuyer joked. Also, if you need money to create songs in the future, tell your sister that there are not many people in the whole Shenzhou who dare to compare with me for more money. TSK. This tone is domineering. Yang Ning was immediately happy. Thank you, Sister Shuyer. Yi Qingzhu's eyes lit up. With Fang Shuyer, the richest woman, her future creation will be much easier. By the way, second wife, your husband can also help you write songs, compose music and lyrics. Yang Ning said with a smile. Yes. My husband is the best man in the world. He knows everything and can do everything. Yi Qingzhu stared at Yang Ning with a half smile. Okay, let's eat first. Fang Shuyer shook her head. At this moment, Wander Hotel. Lobby on the first floor. Master. The lobby manager bowed slightly to a man wearing sportswear, a gold chain around his neck, and sunglasses on his face. I heard that the richest woman Fang Shuyer was having dinner in our hotel. I happened to be in Haisha, so I came to see her. Where is she? The man in sunglasses said lightly. Master, Mr. Fang is having dinner at Emperor Pavilion. The lobby manager spoke cautiously. Facing this young master, she dared not disrespect him. Facing the richest woman Fang Shuyer, she only respected him, but facing this young master, she was just afraid. Because this young master is the eldest son of Wander Group, the son of Wander Group chairman Wang Lin, Wang Keek. And Wang Lin of Wander Group, whose status is no less than that of the richest woman Fang Shuyer, is a big boss at the same level as Fang Shuyer. His assets are second only to the richest man Ma Xiaoyun, and he is the second largest consortium in Shenzhou. Chapter 22 Two Wives Pursuers. Emperor Shen. Wang Keek nodded, lead the way. I haven't seen this richest woman for a long time, and I really miss her a little bit. Young master, Ms. Fang is having a meal, and she has told outsiders not to go in and disturb her. The lobby manager hesitated. It's okay. I'm here, she won't blame you. Wang Keek glanced at the lobby manager. But. The lobby manager gritted his teeth. What? Don't my words have weight? Wang Keek's face darkened. Master, please come this way. The lobby manager was shocked and could only take Wang Keek to the elevator. Although she didn't know what the dispute between the young master and the richest woman was, there have been rumors that Wang Keek, the son of Wander Group, was pursuing the richest woman Fang Shuya, and the two of them once made the headlines for this matter. One is the son of Wonder Group, and the other is the richest woman in Shinju. The identities of the two seem to be similar, but in fact they are too far apart. Wang Keek is at most a rich second generation, a son of a rich man. Fang Shuya, the richest woman in Shinju, has achieved her status by herself. How can Wang Keek be compared with her? It's just that the two are of similar age, and Wang Keek has the support of Wonder Group behind him, so he shamelessly pursues Fang Shuya. It's a pity that he has been rejected by Fang Shuya and has never been treated well. By the way, who is Mr. Fang having dinner with now? Wang Keek asked in the elevator. Young master doesn't know. The lobby manager was startled. Is it true that, as the gossip on the internet says, Ms. Fang is having dinner with her man? Wang Keek frowned. Master, Ms. Fang brought two people with her, one is her husband, and the other is the popular actress Yi Qingzhu. However, I have no idea about the identity of this man. I only vaguely heard their conversation, and they both called this man husband. The lobby manager said cautiously. Oh? This is interesting. Not only is he the man of the richest woman, but he is also the man of the popular actress Yi Qingzhu. I would like to know who this man is, and why he has caused the two top goddesses in Shinju to be jealous. Wang Keek narrowed his eyes. Over the years, he had pursued Fang Shuya and Yi Qingzhu, but both of them were extremely cold and never gave him a good face. Now, these two goddesses actually have the same man, incredible. As the son of Wonder Group and the Disciplinary Inspection Committee of the entertainment industry, Wang Keek has seen countless women, many gold-digging women have come to him, but he is not interested in any of them. In the whole Shinju, there are only 5 women who can interest him. One is Yi Qingzhu, the number one in the entertainment industry. One is Fang Shuya, the richest woman. One is Xiao Yu, a beautiful doctor. One is Zhu Zhiyun, the queen of football. One is Qin, the most beautiful diplomat. Yi. These 5 people, no matter their strength or their own conditions, are excellent enough, and unlike other women, they are cold and arrogant, standing at the top of their respective fields, and they really look down on ordinary men. Wang Keek is a very ambitious person. If he can suppress these 5 high goddesses, it will definitely be the most successful and face-saving thing. It's a pity that no matter how hard he tries, he is always rejected every time he approaches. The most important thing is that these 5 people are Yang Ning's wives. Ding tilde tilde tilde. Soon, the 33rd floor arrived. Master, the Emperor Pavilion is in front, I won't accompany you in. The lobby manager said apologetically. Well. Wang Keek nodded, smiling and walked towards the Emperor Pavilion step by step. I didn't expect that the young master would come to join in the fun at this time. Will there be a fight inside later? The lobby manager gritted his teeth and pressed the elevator button for the first floor. This kind of competition between big men is not something a small person like her can participate in. It's better to stay away from it to avoid getting into trouble. Crack tilde tilde tilde. Suddenly, in the Emperor's Pavilion, when the 3 were eating happily and sweetly, relived the love and good times 10 years ago, a voice broke this warm scene. The door of the private room of the Emperor's Pavilion opened, and a man in a sports shirt walked in with a smile on his face. Huh. Yang Ning frowned and turned to look at Wang Keek. It was not easy to return to the happy, warm and harmonious moment, but he was disturbed by someone. Yang Ning was a little angry. Besides, this is the private room booked by the richest woman. Who is so blind and dares to come uninvited? Is it him? Suddenly, Fang Shuya and Yi Qingzhu both looked at Wang Keek at the same time, with displeasure on their faces. Mr. Fang, I didn't expect you to be here. What, you don't welcome me? I just happened to be in Haisha, and you happened to be having dinner at my hotel, so I came uninvited. Wang Keek looked at Fang Shuya with a smile, walked in step by step, and finally his eyes fell on Yang Ning. I've read a lot of gossip on the internet, you should be Mr. Fang's man, right? By the way, I almost forgot that you are also Yi Qingzhu's man. TSK TSK. You are worthy of being the strongest man of 1.4 billion in Shinju. You have 2 top goddesses at the same time, which offends all the men in Shinju. Nice to meet you, my name is Wang Keek. Wang Keek walked to Yang Ning's side and slowly stretched out his right hand. Chapter 23. Do we know each other? Yang Ning replied suddenly, ignoring Wang Keek, but picked up a piece of meat and put it in Fang Shuya's bowl. Wife, come, eat. Har. As expected of the richest woman, his personality is different from ordinary people. Wang Keek's face changed slightly, and her outstretched right hand stiffened slightly, then she took it back awkwardly, with a hint of displeasure in her eyes. Wang Keek, you are not welcome here, please leave. Fang Shuyer said lightly. Wang Keek, you are really thick-skinned, don't think you are great just because you have a few stinky money, let me tell you, I will always be the woman you can't get. Yi Qingzhu said coldly, without giving any face. Wang Keek, you are really thick-skinned, don't think you are great just because you have a few stinky money, let me tell you, I will always be the woman you can't get. Yi Qingzhu said coldly, without giving any face at all. I'm sorry, Wonder Hotel is owned by my family. As a host, I'm treating you to this meal. Besides, Shuyer, Qingzhu, we've been good friends for so many years, can't we have a meal together? Wang Keek said with a smile. He was not angry at all for Yi Qingzhu's lack of face. Because he's used to it. I'm sorry, please leave. No matter who you are, this is my family dinner. You are not welcome here, and neither are my two wives. Yang Ning slowly put down his chopsticks and glanced at Wang Keek. His face was very calm, but there was an unquestionable majesty in his words. What's your name? Wang Keek squinted at Yang Ning. I'm just an ordinary person. I can't compare with you, a rich young man. Of course, you have a good father. And, you also have a good wife. Yang Ning grinned and stared at Wang Keek meaningfully. Ordinary people. Wang Keek disagreed, I've also read a lot of gossip about you. Could it be that you are really a pretty boy kept by Shuyer and Qingzhu? Wang Keek. Fang Shuyer was angry, he is my husband, please keep your mouth shut. Also, don't you just rely on having a good father. In my eyes, you are just a playboy, a rich second generation who relies on his father, and you have no sense of existence at all. Also, please be more respectful in the future and stay away from me as much as possible. I don't need friends like you. If it weren't for your father's face, you would never stand in front of me. Fang Shuyer said coldly. Wang Keek, you should go find those internet celebrities. I don't buy your tricks, and don't show up in front of me in the future. Remember, I already have a husband. Compared with my husband, you can't even compare to a toe. Yi Qingzhu's face sank and his voice was extremely cold. You? Wang Keek's face suddenly changed. She didn't expect Yi Qingzhu's words to be so sharp. She didn't give him any face and insulted him as if he was worthless. Did you hear that? My wife told you to get out. Yang Ning said lightly, staring at Wang Keek with a smile. Good. Very good. Wang Keek took a deep breath and her face became gloomy. It was the first time that someone ridiculed her so unscrupulously. Yi Qingzhu, wait, I will ruin your reputation. You asked for it. Since I can't get a woman like you, I will destroy her myself. Wang Keek looked at Yi Qingzhu coldly. It depends on whether you have the strength to do it. Yi Qingzhu shrugged. Get out. Fang Shuyer waved her hand. Fang Shuyer, you cheap woman, if it weren't for you being the richest woman, how could I have fallen for you? Pretending to be cool. You are just a cheap woman, actually committing yourself to a man who is nothing, ridiculous. The richest woman. She is just a toy in someone else's bed. Wang Keek cursed. Since they had already torn their faces apart, there was no need to maintain a gentlemanly demeanor. You? Fang Shuyer's face turned cold. What kind of woman I am? My husband has the final say, it is not your turn to point fingers, and I will only sleep with my husband in my life. Wife, don't be angry. If you get too angry, your face will have wrinkles. At this time, Yang Ning smiled slightly, slowly stood up, patted Fang Shuyer's shoulder, and walked towards Wang Keek step by step. What did you call my wife? Bitch? Plaything. Sorry, I've been keeping a low profile since I came down the mountain, and my temper has calmed down a lot. You can say that about me, but not about my wife. I'm not good at anything, but I have one advantage, that is, I love my wife and I'm a wife-protecting maniac. For people like you, who will do whatever they can to destroy her if they can't get her, you can only use your fists to speak. Yang Ning walked slowly to Wang Keek with a smile on his face very calm, his tone very flat. What are you going to do? Isn't it just a little white face? I'm the son of Wonder Group, can you kill me? Wang Keek gritted his teeth and stepped back step by step. Facing the burly and handsome wife-protecting maniac Yang Ning, Wang Keek's aura was a little timid. Kill you. Yang Ning shook his head. I'm not that stupid. But since you scolded my wife, I have to leave some interest. What do you think? Yang Ning raised his hand slightly and pressed Wen Keek's arm. Crack tilde 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 tilde. R. Suddenly, a scream spread, accompanied by a cracking sound, and Wen Keek's arm was broken. You. Wen Keek's eyes widened with pain. He didn't expect Yang Ning to be so strong. No matter how he struggled, he couldn't get rid of his hand. Crack tilde. Another bone-breaking sound rang out, and Wen Keek's other arm was also broken. R. Wen Keek screamed heartbreakingly, and the whole person curled up in pain and fell to the ground. Looking at Yang Ning's harmless smile, he felt deeply terrified. These two hands are broken, which is considered as the interest left for the first wife. Yang Ning said lightly, of course, you have to leave the interest for my second wife. Crack. Yang Ning stepped directly on Wen Keek's left foot, and in an instant, his left foot was broken again. Crack. R. Tilde 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 tilde. Wen Keek's face turned pale with pain, and his forehead was full of sweat. If it weren't for his strong willpower, he would have fainted long ago. His right foot was gently stepped on by Yang Ning, and then he had no consciousness at all. Husband. Fang Shuya on the side was shocked. He is the son of Wonder Group, don't kill him. Don't worry, only his hands and feet were broken, which is considered a lesson, and some interest. If there is a next time, I will make Wonder Group extinct. Yang Ning stared at Wen Keek's lower body with a smile. Okay, let the waiter outside come in to clean up the garbage. Yang Ning said lightly. Chapter 24. The most beautiful diplomat was kidnapped. Master. At this time, the waiter at the door of the private room was shocked. When he saw Wen Keek's limbs were all broken, lying on the ground motionless, rolling his eyes in pain, he was dumbfounded. What's going on? Who is so cruel? How dare he break Wen Keek's limbs? Who is Wen Keek? The son of Wonder Group, the second richest man in China, Wang Lin, was actually broken by others in his own hotel. If this news spread, it would definitely cause a sensation. Let the lobby manager of your hotel carry him away. If he is a step later, he will probably become a disabled person. Fang Shuya said lightly. Okay, Mr. Fang. The waiter was shocked and hurriedly called the lobby manager. After a while, the lobby manager came out of the elevator with 4 hotel security guards, looking anxious, and carrying a white stretcher behind him. Master, what happened to you? The lobby manager stared at Wen Keek with wide eyes in shock. He was curled up on the ground like a beggar, unable to move his limbs, his face was pale, his eyes were red, and his forehead was full of sweat. He was obviously in pain. Hurry. Hurry and take me to the hospital. Wen Keek gritted his teeth, said something with difficulty, and then fainted. Master. The lobby manager panicked and could only grit his teeth and wave to the security guards behind him. Hurry. Send the master to Haisha Hospital. Remember, no matter what the cost, make sure the master can wake up. Yes. Behind him, the 4 security guards nodded, hurriedly moved Wen Keek's body carefully to the stretcher, carried him into the elevator, and sent him to Haisha Hospital. Boss Fang, what's going on? Now that the young master has had such an incident in the hotel, how can I explain it to the headquarters and the chairman? Once the chairman blames me, I'm afraid I'm done. The lobby manager was anxious and looked at Fang Shuya unwillingly. She couldn't defend Fang Shuya, and she couldn't ignore the fact that her young master had his limbs broken in the hotel. It's okay. Just report it truthfully. If the chairman of Wonder Group blames you, you can come to work in my company. Fang Shuya waved her hand. Boss Fang, why don't you tell the chairman in person? I'm just a lobby manager and I can't get in touch with the chairman at all. The lobby manager smiled bitterly. No need. I'm not very familiar with your chairman. Fang Shuya shook her head. Don't worry, Wen Keek won't die, just teach him a lesson, and it's also for your chairman's sake. Don't worry too much. If the people above blame you, just say that Wen Keek's limbs were broken by their husband of the richest woman, and let him be more obedient in the future and stop thinking about other people's wives all day long. Yang Ning said with a smile, you go down. If you are fired as the lobby manager, you might as well come to work in my company. Your company? The lobby manager took a deep breath. Shuya Cosmetics Company, Limited. The only branch of the headquarters in High City. Yang Ning nodded. Okay, okay. The lobby manager hesitated for a moment, gritted his teeth, turned around and walked into the elevator. Husband, now you broke Wan Keek's limbs. This is a slap in the face of Wang Lin and Wonder Group. I'm afraid. Seeing the lobby manager leave, Yi Qingzhu on the side took a deep breath and became worried. What are you afraid of? Don't you know your husband's strength? Yang Ning shrugged, comparing money. My first wife is the richest woman, and she has as much money as him. Comparing influence? I have other wives, including the Queen of Sambar and the Princess of Dubai. Sister Qingzhu, don't worry. Wang Lin has to be a little bit afraid of me, the richest woman. If it weren't for his face, I would have taken action against Wan Keek long ago. Fang Shuyer said disdainfully. Okay, I've thrown the annoying one into the hospital. Let's continue eating. Yang Ning smiled and sat back to her seat. Husband, I'm full. I'll watch TV in the lounge first. Yi Qingzhu smiled and stuck out her tongue, and walked directly to the lounge of the private room. Husband, let her rest, we continue eating. Fang Shuyer also sat back to her seat and picked up a piece of fish meat for Yang Ning. I haven't watched TV for a long time. I don't know what to watch. In the lounge, Yi Qingzhu held the TV remote control and kept changing channels. After searching for a while, he couldn't find the TV programs he liked. Forget it, just watch the news. Occasionally pay attention to national affairs. Yi Qingzhu pressed the remote control and switched to Shenshu's international news channel. According to the latest news, a coup took place in the African country of Tagan, the civil war stopped, the Conservative Party defeated the Separatist Party, and obtained the highest military command of the government. From then on, Tagan was ruled by the highest leader of the Conservative Party. However, the Separatist Party is still powerful and keeps launching military retaliation. The youngest beautiful diplomat of Shinju, the ambassador of Shinju to Tagan, and the staff of the embassy who originally planned to withdraw from Tagan have all been kidnapped by the Separatist Party. Suddenly, a piece of news caught Yi Qingzhu's attention. When she heard that among the kidnapped Shinju staff, there was one of the youngest beautiful diplomats, she was shocked. Husband, come quickly, something big happened. Yi Qingzhu couldn't help but exclaimed and shouted to Yang Ning. Chapter 25, Furious. What's the matter? I'm not full yet. Yang Ning ate slowly, flirting with Fang Shuyer from time to time, sweet and happy, but who would have thought that it was broken by Yi Qingzhu's exclamation? Hubby, something big happened, Qin Yi's sister was kidnapped. Yi Qingzhu was anxious and waved to Yang Ning. What? Yang Ning's face changed drastically, and he stood up from the table and walked towards the lounge. Qin Yi was kidnapped. Fang Shuyer, who was standing next to him, slowly put down the chopsticks in her hand. Her face was a little shocked, and then she stood up and followed Yang Ning. What's going on? Yang Ning walked to Yi Qingzhu's side, shocked and angry in his heart. He had just come down the mountain, and his third wife was kidnapped. Hubby, look at this news report. Yi Qingzhu pointed to the TV screen, and saw a news anchor reporting the latest news about the civil unrest in Taklamakan, Africa. The Conservative Party of Tagan defeated the Separatist Party and regained the supreme command of the government. The remaining Separatist Party began to carry out crazy military retaliation. The youngest beautiful diplomat of Shinju, the ambassador of Shinju to Tagan, and the staff of the embassy did not have time to withdraw from Tagan. Now they are kidnapped by the Separatist Party as hostages. Looking at the lines of text below the news report, Yang Ning narrowed his eyes and his face suddenly darkened. Husband. Fang Shuyer on the side was startled. It was the first time she saw Yang Ning showing such a dark and terrible face. Under his sharp eyes, there was a terrible coldness. This coldness made Fang Shuyer feel uneasy and frightened. What a Tagan country, what a Separatist Party. If something happens to my wife, I will make the whole Tagan country pay the price. Yang Ning took a deep breath, his face was gloomy and uncertain, and he began to calculate in his heart. Husband, what should we do? Sister Qin Yi is the youngest beautiful diplomat in Shinju, and has attracted worldwide attention. Now she has been kidnapped as a hostage, and countries around the world are shocked. I believe our Shinju government has also taken action. Yi Qingzhu gritted his teeth. Shuyer, help me book a ticket to Tagan in Africa. Yang Ning took a deep breath. How could he sit back and watch his third wife being kidnapped? When? Fang Shuyer asked. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Yang Ning said solemnly. His face was no longer calm, his tone was no longer gentle, and he gave people an endless chill. I know. However, there is no direct flight from High City to Tagan. It is estimated that there are flights from Beijing Airport or Hong Kong Airport. Fang Shuya reminded, and now Tagan is in civil strife, the regime is unstable, and the war is ongoing. I am afraid that the aviation department has received an order from the top to prohibit flights to Tagan. What should we do then? Now, Qin Yi's sister has been kidnapped and is in great danger. Even if Shenju sends out a rescue, it may not be able to act for a while, because this is related to the diplomatic policy between countries. Yi Qingzhu reminded. Since the country can't rescue for a while, I can only do it myself. The neighboring country of Tagan should be India, right? Shuya, help me book a ticket to India at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Yang Ning narrowed his eyes and had a plan in mind. Asen. Fang Shuya was a little confused, but she didn't ask more. Since her husband didn't explain more, he didn't want to worry about them. Xiaoshu, help me book a ticket to India at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I will send you the ID number later. Fang Shuya took out her mobile phone and dialed it. Husband, I have arranged it. Fang Shuya took a deep breath and hung up the phone directly. That's good. Yang Ning nodded, and looked at Fang Shuya and Yi Qingzhu with a smile. Are you full? If you are, you have to work hard tonight. It's been 10 years, and your husband will make it up to you tonight. How to make it up? Fang Shuya blushed. Guess? I will definitely make you unable to get out of bed tomorrow. Yang Ning said confidently. Husband, I haven't forgotten the scene of entering the bridal chamber 10 years ago. At that time, the 10 of us took turns, but we were no match for you. Yi Qingzhu on the side chuckled. Her smile was very charming and moving. That was the charming temperament that a mature woman should have. Shenju capital. The office of the number 1 chief. At this moment, there were 3 figures standing. One was an old man in his 60s wearing a Zhongshan suit, standing with his hands behind his back. His name was Xingbin, the number 1 chief of Shenju. One was a middle-aged man wearing a suit and a pair of glasses. His name was Jiang Qing, the number 2 chief of Shenju. There was another middle-aged man wearing a military coat, leaning on a cane, with a heavy breath. His name was Zhao Jinyu, the only general of Shenju now. Old Xing, what do you think of the civil strife in Tagan? Now, the ambassador to Tagan, the diplomat Qin Yi who is carrying out diplomatic missions, and all the staff of the embassy in Tagan have all been kidnapped hostage by the separatist party. I suggest that troops be sent to rescue immediately. The second leader Jiang Qing took a deep breath. He looked at the old man standing with his hands behind his back in front of him, and an unprecedented cold light flashed in his eyes. For many years, since he took the position of the second leader, no country has dared to provoke Shenju and threaten the people of Shenju. I didn't expect that a separatist party in a small country like Tagan would dare to kidnap Shenju officials. Isn't this courting death? Chapter 26 Shenshu's attitude. Old Xing, send troops. The lives and safety of my Shenju people cannot be violated by other countries. It's just a small country like Tagan. If the Conservative Party cannot rescue the kidnapped Shenju officials from the Separatist Party, I suggest sending troops to Tagan. Shenju has been silent for too long. We can't just tolerate and condemn. The Shenju General Zhao Jinyu, wearing a military coat, also spoke. His prestige in the Shenju military and political affairs is higher than that of the number 1 leader, because he is the only founding general of Shenju who has survived to this day. Since both of you agree to send troops to rescue, let the Foreign Education Department make a statement first, which can be regarded as our Shenshu's attitude towards this kidnapping incident. It's time to let the world know our Shenshu's determination. Anyone who offends our Shenju citizens will be punished even if they are far away. Xingbin took a deep breath, and a trace of unprecedented solemnity appeared on his face. Good. I hope the Separatist Party of Tagan is just hot-headed for a while, otherwise, I will destroy the entire Tagan country. Zhao Jinyu's eyes opened, and a strong momentum emanated from his body. Old Zhao, there is no rush to send troops. Let the Foreign Education Department hold a media press conference first to announce our Shenshu's attitude to the world. I will call the top leader of the Conservative Party of Tagan directly and ask him to find ways to rescue the kidnapped Shenju officials. You let the special forces be ready and on standby at all times. The second leader Jiang Qing frowned. He knew Zhao Jinyu's temper very well. Once he was really angry, no one could stop him. Don't worry. Zhao Jinyu nodded, and walked out of the office of the first leader step by step with his crutches. Old Jiang. Seeing Zhao Jinyu leave, Xing Bin, who stood with his hands behind his back, turned slowly. Old Zhao has the hottest temper. Although sending troops to rescue is imperative, the United States and the island countries may also use this matter to attack our Shinju. Old Zhao, our Shinju has been silent for too long. It is useless to condemn blindly. Strength is the hard truth. Now, with our Shenshu's technology and military strength, how can we be afraid of the United States and the island countries? Jiang Qing snorted coldly. This time, the whole world should know the attitude of our Shinju. Those who offend China will be punished even if they are far away. Soon, the Ministry of Foreign Education. A supreme order was issued. Yang Yang, spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Education, directly convened a press conference for the world media. At the press conference, Yang Yang said to reporters from all over the world, Shinju adheres to the foreign policy of not offending others unless they offend me. Now, the separatist party of Tagan has kidnapped the ambassador of Shinju to Tagan. This move is a provocation to Shinju. I hope the separatist party will release the officials of Shinju as soon as possible to ensure their safety and ensure that they can withdraw safely and smoothly from Tagan. Otherwise, Shinju will send troops to rescue them. Those who offend China will be punished even if they are far away. Shinju will call the highest leader of the conservative party of Tagan, hoping to rescue the kidnapped Shinju officials within an hour. This is the last bottom line of Shinju. Otherwise, in an hour, a strong army will be sent down from the sky to protect the citizens of Shinju and strengthen the military spirit of Shinju. The people of Shinju were all in an uproar over the domineering response of the Foreign Ministry spokesperson Yang Yang. They responded to the actions of the Foreign Ministry spokesperson. They responded to the attitude of the Shinju government. Citizens of Shinju, no matter where you are, your life and safety must not be violated. Those who offend China will be punished no matter how far away they are. In an instant, the people of Shinju were all in an uproar. The crowd that was originally paying attention to the richest woman and the popular female star began to shift their attention to Tagan and the separatist party in Tagan. At this moment, the people of the whole country were of one mind, praying for the kidnapped Shinju officials and the staff of the embassy in Tagan. Some crazy crowds even threatened to destroy the entire Tagan. Yang Ning did not care about the attitude of the Shinju government. Even if the government did not send troops to rescue, he would go to Tagan alone to rescue his wife. However, Yang Ning also knew that the reason why the separatist party kidnapped the Shinju officials as hostages was nothing more than to threaten the conservative party and gain more benefits and opportunities. As for the lives of Qin Yi and others, they should be safe within 24 hours. So, Yang Ning booked a flight to Asen at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and left the evening time for the first and second wives. After all, it has been 10 years, and they must be compensated. At this moment, Wonder Hotel in Haisha. In the presidential suite. Husband, the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has announced to the world that the Conservative Party of Tagan has 1 hour to rescue the kidnapped Shinju officials, otherwise Shinju will send troops to fight across the country. On an oversized round bed, Yi Qingzhu held his mobile phone and looked through the latest current affairs news. 1 hour. Yang Ning shook his head. This move will only stimulate the separatist party, but Shinju can send troops to rescue, which can be regarded as sharing some pressure for me. Otherwise, I don't mind destroying the entire Tagan kingdom. Hubby, Sister Qin Yi. Fang Shuyer was wearing a white pajamas. Under the hazy vision, she could vaguely see her charming figure and sexy curves. At this time, she frowned. The situation in Tagan kingdom was not optimistic. She was a little worried about Qin Yi's safety. Don't worry. She will be fine. Tomorrow, I will bring her back. Yang Ning said lightly, confidently. Don't think too much. Tonight, it's the world of the 3 of us. I will make up for the debts of the past 10 years. Yang Ning smiled and rushed towards Fang Shuyer. At this time, Yi Qingzhu on the side exclaimed, and Yang Ning stretched out his hand to pull her and pressed her under him. Chapter 27. Speed is of the essence. Shinju action. Yang Ning was happy that night. However, the office of the number 1 chief in Shenshu's capital was not peaceful. Late at night, 1 a.m. Xing Bin, wrapped in a thick special coat, sat in the study, occasionally lighting a Zhonghua cigarette, on the tip of which was engraved the word tribute. Obviously, This was a special tribute Zhonghua cigarette. Old Xing. Speed is of the essence. Let the rescue special forces go. The top leader of the Conservative Party of Tagan cannot guarantee that he can rescue the hostages within an hour. Number 2 Jiang Qing slowly took off his glasses and rubbed his eyes. It seems that the negotiations between the Conservative Party and the Separatist Party have broken down. The kidnapped Shinju officials and embassy staff are in danger. Since the top leader of the Conservative Party cannot give us Shinju a satisfactory explanation, then send troops. Xingbin nodded, poked the cigarette butt, and put it out directly. By the way, Lao Jiao should not be asleep yet. Xingbin asked. He has been waiting for your order. After all, in the military and political affairs, you are number 1 and he is number 2. Jiang Qing nodded. Let Lao Jiao give the order. Make sure the special forces arrive in Tagan before dawn. Xingbin said lightly. Well, I have called the highest leader of the Conservative Party of Tagan, and he has agreed to assist us in the rescue with our Shinju Special Forces as the main force and Tagan Rescue Forces as the auxiliary force. Jiang Qing glanced at Xingbin. Well. Action. Xingbin took a deep breath, put on a thick special coat, and slowly walked out of the study. Lao Jiao, action. Jiang Qing, the second leader, picked up the landline in the study and called Zhao Jinyu directly. Shinju, Beijing Special Warfare Headquarters. Command Center. Shinju General Zhao Jinyu stood with his hands behind his back, and behind him stood 2 figures in special warfare uniforms. One is the commander of the Special Operations Department, Gao Yuliang. One is the Special Operations Department's Soldier King, serving as the captain of the Special Operations Team to rescue the hostages, Ling Feng. The number 1 commander has ordered the rescue operation to start now. Zhao Jinyu turned slowly, his eyes were extremely deep, and he glanced at the 2 people in front of him gently, with a strong momentum on his body. This operation can only succeed, not fail. Please rest assured, as the commander-in-chief of this rescue operation, I will definitely complete the mission. Gao Yuliang stood at attention, his posture was straight, and he saluted Zhao Jinyu. Please rest assured, the captain of the Special Operations Team, Ling Feng, will complete the mission. The Special Operations Team's Soldier King Ling Feng saluted with a sonorous and powerful voice. Commander, this rescue operation is considered a cross-border mission. Will 20 Special Operations Team members be a little short? Gao Yuliang was a little worried. This operation is just a rescue operation. If there are too many people, the Conservative Party of Tagan may be hostile. With the assistance of the Conservative Party's rescue team, you should be able to go smoothly. First, ensure the safety of the hostages. Second, obey orders. Third, kill without mercy when necessary. Fourth, escort the embassy staff to evacuate Tagan safely. Suddenly, a sharp edge burst out in Zhao Jinyu's eyes. Yes, I guarantee to complete the mission. Gao Yuliang stood up and saluted respectfully. Ling Feng, you are the king of the special forces and the role model of my Shinju military spirit. I hope you can return safely. Zhao Jinyu took a step forward and touched Ling Feng's shoulder. Chief, I guarantee to complete the mission. Ling Feng was startled and saluted hurriedly. This was the first time he received such close praise from the Shinju general. For this Shinju general, Ling Feng respected him very much, because he had contributed too much to Shinju and was the only founding general now. Okay, I'll go back first. Zhao Jinyu walked out of the command center step by step with a cane. Watching the leader leave, Gao Yuliang took a deep breath. As the commander-in-chief of this rescue operation, his pressure was not ordinary. Ling Feng. Gao Yuliang looked at the special forces soldier in front of him. Commander. Ling Feng nodded. Let's go. Remember, I want you to bring back 20 special forces members safely, not one less. Also, make sure to ensure the safety of embassy staff, diplomat Qin Yi and others. Once rescued, evacuate immediately. Gao Yuliang ordered. Yes, Commander. Guarantee to complete the mission. Ling Feng saluted with a sonorous military salute. Go. Gao Yuliang nodded. I will be at the command center and fight shoulder to shoulder with you. Yes. Ling Feng nodded and turned around and walked out of the command center directly. Soon, a special forces military plane took off slowly, and under the cover of night, it flew away from the capital and headed for Tagan. The next day, 8 o'clock in the morning. Fang Shuyer and Yi Qingzhu were still asleep. Yang Ning did not wake them up, but left alone and boarded the plane to Asen. Chapter 28, The Border of Tagan. Asen is a very magical country. Its population is second only to that of Shinju, but its economy is very backward. Moreover, this is a fighting nation in the eyes of the Shinju people. Everyone lives a wonderful life, whether they are poor or rich, their lives are like cheating. Yang Ning is still somewhat familiar with Asen. Although he has been imprisoned in the mountains for 10 years, 10 years ago, before he married his 10 wives, he had almost traveled all over the world. After 10 years, Asen has now been completely renewed, and its overall economy has also improved a lot. However, this is still the place where the poor and the rich are most divided. 3 hours later, the flight to Ordre, the capital of Asen, landed slowly. Yang Ning, wearing sunglasses, casual clothes, and a pair of white sneakers, walked off the plane. At first glance, he didn't look like he was going to Tagan to rescue his wife, but to Asen for vacation. Walking out of the airport, Yang Ning spoke fluent Asen, found an overseas bank, exchanged a lot of Asen currency, then paid a stack of money, rented a car, and started driving to the border between Asen and Tagan. Yang Ning didn't need to consider the issue of money, because with his wife, money was not a problem no matter which country he was in. The border between Asen and Tagan. To her town. This place has now been ordered by the Minister of Defense of Asen to set up many checkpoints and prohibit anyone from passing. And a lot of troops have been sent to the border to prevent a coup in Tagan and prevent border chaos. Today, Tagan has attracted worldwide attention. Due to civil unrest, struggle for power, and struggle between parties, the entire country has fallen into endless disasters. Since the civil unrest began, the artillery fire has never stopped. Many Tagan people have begun to move to neighboring countries to seek help. So far, more than 500,000 people have moved to safe temporary residences set up by neighboring countries. And the town of Tuhar in Asen has accepted no less than 100,000 Tagan people. However, today, the Minister of Defense issued a strict order prohibiting anyone from passing through and prohibiting the acceptance of refugees. The entire border defense line was on alert. Once anyone was found to have trespassed, they would all be shot. At a border station less than 1,000 meters away from the border of Tagan. This is the highest command center of the Asen border guards, headed by Captain Keshkin himself. Dingling tilder 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 tilder. In the command center, a hurried landline sounded. Keshkin, who was crossing his legs and wiping his pistol with one hand, frowned slightly. Hello. At this time, a signalman slowly picked up the landline phone. He spoke in an Indian language and talked for a long time, his face becoming more and more ugly. Report to the general. Immediately, the signalman hung up the landline phone, walked quickly to Keshan, and saluted respectfully. What's the matter? Is there any new movement in Tagan? Keshan asked slowly, and the pistol on the table was wiped clean by him. It was very bright. General, it's not good. A car refused security inspection, broke through the defense line, and rushed to the border of Tagan. Now, armored vehicles and heavy motorcycles are blocking it at full speed. The people below ask if they should be shot. The signalman said truthfully. What? Keshahan's face changed, and he slowly put away his pistol. Who is so fearless? Pass my order, you must intercept him at the border checkpoint. Once he crosses the border, no matter who he is, he will be shot dead. No, I want to see for myself who is so desperate. Keshahan took a deep breath, picked up a long-range telescope, and rushed directly to the highest point of the border station. Have these Indian soldiers taken the wrong medicine? Isn't it just breaking through the security check line? Is it necessary to chase and intercept it so hard? Yang Ning smiled bitterly. He was driving a black Renault through the center of Tuhar town and rushed towards the border of Tagan. Behind him, 2 armored vehicles and a heavy motorcycle were chasing at full speed, trying to intercept Yang Ning's car at the border. Listen, people in front, stop the car. This is Tuhar town, the border junction. No one is allowed to cross the border without permission, otherwise you will be shot and the consequences will be at your own risk. In an armored vehicle, a soldier spoke in an Indian language and shouted. It's so annoying, isn't it just borrowing a road? Yang Ning shook his head. If it weren't for the Shinju Aviation Department banning all domestic flights to Tagan, would he have to go through so much trouble? Boom! Yang Ning accelerated forward, unmoved by the armored vehicle chasing behind him. Damn it! Are you crazy? How dare you cross the border at this time? The superiors have issued a strict order. Once you cross the border, no matter who it is, you will be shot. On the armored vehicle, a soldier gritted his teeth and could only apply to his superiors again. General, the people below are undecided and are asking for your opinion. The communicator ran up again at the highest point of the border station and asked carefully. Execute the order. Tell them to intercept as much as possible. If they cannot intercept within the territory, once they cross the border of Tagan, they will be shot directly. Keshahan ordered. Yes. The communicator nodded and turned around and ran away. There is only one person in this black Renault. And, it looks like they are from Shinju. Keshahan took a telescope and saw a black Renault speeding towards the border of Tagan, getting closer and closer, less than 500 meters away. Not good. If they are really from Shinju, then it will be troublesome. Keshahan's face changed drastically, and he turned around and rushed to the command center. Unfortunately, it was too late. Yang Ning drove the black Renault at a speed of 150 km per hour, stepped on the accelerator to the bottom, and rushed towards the border of Tagan like an arrow. At this time, a rocket on the chasing armored vehicle was aiming at Yang Ning's black Renault, waiting for the moment he crossed the border and fired directly. Chapter 29, A Man with the Speed of a Cheater. The border between the two countries is ahead. If you cross it, you will be on the border of Tagan. Yang Ning took a deep breath and stepped on the accelerator. The black Renault rushed towards the border monument between the two countries like a black whirlwind. Boom! Just as the black Renault crossed the border, a rocket flew out from the armored vehicle that was chasing it. The heat wave rolled and a cloud of dust rolled up, locking onto the black Renault. Not good. Yang Ning's face changed slightly. He saw from the rearview mirror that a steaming rocket was rapidly locking onto the target. He waved his hands, twisted the steering wheel with all his strength, and the car body turned 180 degrees directly, avoiding the rocket in time. Boom tilde tilde tilde. However, although the rocket did not hit the black Renault, it exploded next to the car body. The terrifying power directly blew the car up, rolling in the air, and then fell heavily to the ground. Bang! The black Renault was scrapped in an instant, blown to pieces, leaving only a fragmented shell, thick smoke billowing, and the entire body of the car was burning. Quick! Get off the car and take a look. The people in the car should be dead, right? Suddenly, the armored vehicle slowly stopped at the border of India. Two soldiers wearing green military uniforms and carrying heavy machine guns jumped down. They should be dead, right? After all, they were hit by rockets and the cars exploded. A soldier wearing a military cap stared at the black Renault carefully. At this moment, the fire was burning fiercely, and no figure was found. They should be killed by the explosion. Okay, let's go back and report. He asked for his own death, so don't blame us. The soldier with a buzz cut nodded and wanted to turn around and leave. Wow! Catcher tilde tilde. Suddenly, a shadow flashed by, and the buzz cut soldier's eyes widened, his neck slowly twisted, and his head tilted down. So fast! Is this still a human? Suddenly, the pupils of the soldier wearing a military cap shrank, and he was startled. The heavy machine gun began to shoot wildly at Yang Ning. Too slow. Yang Ning shook his head, and his body moved like a cheater, swift and sharp. He raised his arm slightly and grabbed the soldier wearing a military cap directly. Bang! As if hit hard, as if 1,000 pounds of force hit him, the soldier wearing a cap widened his eyes, and the heavy machine gun was directly shaken off. His body was like a kite that had lost its line, and it was smashed more than 10 meters away, and his arm was broken. Clang! Yang Ning caught the heavy machine gun and stared at another armored vehicle and a heavy motorcycle speeding in the distance with a smile. If no one offends me, I will not offend anyone. Since you want me to die, I can only be rude. Yang Ning smiled, raised the heavy machine gun, and shot wildly at the armored vehicle and heavy motorcycle that were speeding. Thump, thump, thump tilde tilde tilde. The bullet shells fell to the ground like gravel. The heavy machine gun was very powerful. Although it could not penetrate the armored vehicle, it affected its speed. The heavy motorcycle following closely behind was shot into a sieve by Yang Ning. Quick! Kill him! A soldier on the armored vehicle was shocked. Where did this person come from? So cruel. He killed 2 teammates in the blink of an eye. Moreover, he was able to avoid rockets and was unharmed. Boom! In an instant, another rocket flew out of the armored vehicle and shot towards Yang Ning. Whoosh! Yang Ning shook his body and quickly avoided the rocket and rushed towards Tegan. Boom tilde tilde tilde. Soon, the rocket exploded, but it could not hurt Yang Ning because he had disappeared under the smoke. Thump, thump, thump tilde tilde tilde. On the armored vehicle, the soldier stood directly on the roof and fired wildly at Yang Ning, who disappeared in the smoke. Unfortunately, Yang Ning's figure could no longer be seen. Damn it! Who is this guy? Too scary. Is this still the speed of a human? The soldier opened his mouth and was completely shocked. How could a human being reach a speed comparable to that of a cheetah? Boom! Just then, behind the soldier, there came a series of heavy sounds, and the road surface was shaking. Armored vehicles and heavy motorcycles were seen slowly approaching. A closer look revealed that there were more than a dozen vehicles. Bang! The leading armored vehicle opened the door, and Keshan slowly stepped down with a serious expression. General! The soldier saluted respectfully. Well? Keshan nodded. What happened? Where is the person? General, we didn't stop him, and we couldn't kill him. He crossed the border and entered Tegan. The soldier gritted his teeth. Got it. Clean this place up. Keshan nodded, his eyes blurred. No matter who you are, Tegan is in turmoil now, the whole country is closed, and the war is going on. You are so eager to cross the border into Tegan. Aren't you afraid of death? Tegan, Wutan City. An abandoned industrial park in the North District. This is the last stronghold of the Separatist Party. After half a year of civil strife, the Separatist Party was finally defeated, and the remaining forces were less than 300 people, all gathered in this abandoned industrial park. Outside the industrial park, dozens of soldiers holding heavy machine guns patrolled back and forth, all of them were death warriors of the Separatist Party. And in the abandoned industrial park, in an old 3-story building. Here, trapped are more than a dozen staff members of the Chinese embassy in Tegan, including Ambassador Liu Weihua and diplomat Qin Yi. Chapter 30 15 Hostages. Ambassador Liu, are you okay? On the 3rd floor, Qin Yi looked at the pale-faced Liu Weihua, with an ugly expression. She was wearing a blue uniform, a ponytail, delicate features, a stunning and charming face, without too much makeup, and at first glance she looked like she was barefaced. However, even with such a barefaced face, she was so beautiful that nothing could be said. With a tall figure and a curvy body, she is worthy of being the youngest beautiful diplomat in China. Qin Yi, I feel a little uncomfortable, probably because of my stomach problem. Liu Weihua covered her abdomen, her face was pale, and it was obvious that she was suffering from stomach pain. Ambassador Liu, are you okay? Ambassador Liu, don't be in trouble, you must hold on. I believe that Shinju will not sit idly by, we will be able to get out of here soon. Yes. We Shinju are the most loyal and righteous, not to mention that we are embassy staff. The government should find a way to rescue us, and then we can evacuate safely and return home happily. Ambassador, you must hold on. Suddenly, 15 embassy staff members surrounded him, all of them were extremely anxious, fearing that Liu Weihua's stomach disease would become more and more serious. Don't panic. Liu Weihua gritted his teeth, the Separatist Party is now lingering and hiding here. If they hadn't taken us hostage, I'm afraid they would have been destroyed by the Conservative Party. However, the closer it is to the last moment, the crazier the Separatist Party will be. This building is closed on 3 sides, and it is impossible to escape. Moreover, there are soldiers from the Separatist Party guarding with guns. We are unarmed, and we must not conflict with them. Liu Weihua reminded. Ambassador Liu, don't worry, we won't act on impulse. Although we are trapped here, we are still free. I believe the Separatist Party will not be too crazy, because we are from Shinju and they have no hostility towards Shinju people. It's just that they took us hostage to force the Conservative Party to make concessions and get more benefits. Qin Yi analyzed. As a diplomat, she still has a certain analytical ability. I hope so. Liu Weihua gritted his teeth, his face was pale, and his forehead was sweating from the pain. Who is Qin Yi? Suddenly, at the staircase on the 3rd floor, a middle-aged man in a military uniform with a red mark on his face came over. He spoke fluent English and glanced at the 15 hostages. Behind him, 5 or 6 soldiers holding heavy machine guns followed closely. I am. Qin Yi's face changed slightly and she slowly stood up. Very good. The middle-aged man stared at Qin Yi with a smile, looked at her carefully, and his face was slightly shocked. He didn't expect that there was such a beautiful woman among the staff of the Shinju embassy in Tagan. Say something. Let the people from the Conservative Party confirm that you are still safe. The middle-aged man picked up a mobile phone and put it to Qin Yi's ear. Qin Yi wanted to take the phone to talk, but was stopped by the middle-aged man. Hello. Qin Yi just said a word, and the middle-aged man took the phone away from her ear. Okay, you heard the voice, don't worry, they are still alive. As long as you agree to my conditions, these hostages will be sent back safely. I will only give you the last hour, otherwise, I can only kill them one by one, even if it is for our separatist party. The middle-aged man said lightly. Soon, the phone was hung up. General, can I have a small request? At this time, Qin Yi gritted her teeth. She was brave, her eyes were firm, not timid at all, and she spoke fluent English, staring at the middle-aged man in front of her. What's the matter? The middle-aged man stared at Qin Yi with a smile. Our Ambassador Lu's stomach disease is getting worse and worse. Can you help him get some stomachache medicine? Qin Yi asked, didn't you guarantee the safety of the hostages before? If Ambassador Lu has an accident, how can you get more benefits from the Conservative Party? How to explain to Shinju? Sorry, this is a wasteland, there is no stomachache medicine, let him bear it, if he can't bear it, forget it. Besides, even if he dies, it's not me who killed him. By the way, you are very beautiful. I haven't tried Shinju women in my life. After the transaction is completed, I will enjoy you and send you away. The middle-aged man stared at Qin Yi with a smile. You? Qin Yi's face changed drastically. Come here, watch carefully. If anyone tries to escape, shoot them directly, the middle-aged man ordered. Yes. The 5 soldiers holding heavy machine guns behind him saluted respectfully, and then stood at the stairs, guarding the only exit. Qin Yi, don't. Lu Weihua gritted his teeth and pulled Qin Yi's sleeve. Don't be impulsive, otherwise, we will suffer. Let's wait. Shinju will find a way to rescue us. Bang. At this time, Lu Weihua knelt on the ground in pain. It was obvious that his stomach was very uncomfortable and he could not hold on. Ambassador Lu. Seeing this, Qin Yi was startled. Beep tilde tilde tilde. Suddenly, at this moment, a vibration sound came from Qin Yi's private part. This is. Qin Yi's face was shocked, and then she was overjoyed. She knew that it was her husband who sent a message. All the staff of the embassy had their mobile phones taken away and controlled when they were held hostage. Of course, Qin Yi's cell phone was also taken away. However, others didn't know that she had always carried 2 cell phones. One was a smartphone, and the other was an old-fashioned phone from 10 years ago, which could only send messages but not make or receive calls. This old-fashioned phone was hidden very secretly by her, so it was not discovered. This is why Ning only sent messages and didn't make calls. You guys, come here. Qin Yi shouted to the 15 embassy staff. Ambassador Lu. Are you okay? Ambassador Lu. Qin Yi winked, and the 15 embassy staff also surrounded Lu Weihua with anxious faces. Then, while the guards at the stairs didn't notice, Qin Yi slowly took out the old-fashioned phone and clicked on the message sent by Ning. Wife, I'm in Tagan now. Where are you being held now? Give me the specific location immediately. These 2 short sentences instantly made Qin Yi feel warm. This is their husband she has been thinking about day and night. When his wife is in trouble, no matter where he is, he will try his best to come. Soon, Qin Yi sent her specific location to Ning. In the northern district of Wutan City, in an abandoned industrial park.